Hello and welcome to Birmingham, England, and continuing coverage of the IAAF World Indoor Championships. This 17th edition draws the best global track and field stars to the Midlands. It's the second time this city has hosted the event. I'm Tony Husband, and joining me in the commentary box, former Olympic gold medalist and two-time world indoor champion Christian Olsen, prolific triple jumper of his day, and Commonwealth silver medalist and Olympic long jumper Jade Johnson. We're inside our venue, Arena Birmingham, in the heart of the city, protected by the freezing conditions outside this week. Sub-zero temperatures, heavy snow, but only a deluge of medals in this facility. Well, hello to you both, Jade and Christian, and the crowd's flocking in again despite the weather, and another big morning session to watch.
Yes, Tony, this morning is packed with some great action, with two field event finals going on. Today, this morning, we are in for a treat, and especially if they are anything like the men's long jump last night.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this morning with my history in triple jump. I, of course, want to see the women's triple jump final with the defending champion and last year outdoor world champion, Julia Rojas.
Full check on the morning session schedule. The heptathletes will be the first out on the track at 10 o'clock local time. We should see some explosive sprinting as the men's 60 metres gets underway, including the new world record holder, Christian Coleman. But there's some other big medal contenders in that field as well. As Jade mentioned, we have two finals, triple jump and men's shot put. The shot put has some real heavy hitters this year. And there's middle distance action as the first round of both the men's 1500 metres and the women's 800 metres get underway in this morning session. It all concludes, well, with one of the most lively events and one of the most crowd-thrilling events, 4x400 metres relay for both men and for women. There's the scene in the warm-up area. Considerably warmer than it is outside. The temperature's still very low, but all the athletes now arriving steadily, having trooped through the difficult conditions, and the audience is taking their seats ahead of this morning session. There's plenty of yoghurt on show this week. It's a healthy crowd here in Birmingham, Jade, isn't it?
Yes, Tony, I was just about to say, I'm sure we saw lots of yoghurt-eating spectators yesterday, so maybe it's a thing here in Birmingham.
Just hot dogs in the commentary box, isn't it? And they're nicely out of view. But it's great to see the audiences in. They have had difficult journeys, many of them, but we've got another healthy crowd inside this morning. And Christian, as somebody, well, both of you, of course, who are in field events where you really play on that participation from the crowd, the more you've got in, the more roar you've got behind you must help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yesterday I felt like it was a little bit slow with the crowd participation with some of the athletes, especially in the men's long jump, when they were asking for the support of the crowd. I did notice that I think the young guy from Czech Republic was asking for the crowd to clap, and no one actually, you know, gave him those claps, and I think it sometimes can be a little bit embarrassing, so I sometimes don't always do that, just in case no one claps for me.
Well, I usually do it most of the time. Sometimes I remember, like Olympic Games 2004, I was so focused that I actually forgot to do it because I wanted just to do my jumps. But here in Birmingham, I can remember starting, and even though I was up against Jonathan Edwards, a home favourite, they still appreciated that I needed support and gave it to me.
And I think sometimes, you know, when you do see athletes asking for that crowd support, it's a very individual thing, because some athletes, and you saw it in the men's high jump, the winner told everyone to be quiet because it puts you off. Sometimes it can get you a little bit too excited and it puts you off your rhythm. Some people need it to get them up that little bit more. So, you know, some athletes you'll see asking for it and some athletes you won't.
It's a great shot panning across Arena Birmingham. We can bring you there from one of our cameras across this venue. A purpose-built venue for indoor athletics. It is the second time that an IAAF World Indoor Championships has been here in what is known as the home of British athletics.
I think here we see some of the men warming up for their 60-metre heats that kick off in a little while. You know, it's really interesting at this stage because you don't exactly know what's going to happen. You've seen lots of things going on. It's a few days of action already underway, so you've just been really eager to get going. You know, you see some real concentration going on there. And it's like you said, it's a tight area, so everyone's up against each other, and not only in the competition, but in the warm-up too.
Well, while they wait for the action to start, the fans are entertained. Dance cam is busy. Yep, put the tee down.
I'm wondering when my favourite cow is with his great moves.
Possibly the line of the week so far.
Well, you know, I had to put it in again. I think it's my best line ever.
Well, they can stop dancing and start watching, because here's a summary of the heptathlon men. This is where we stand after 4 of these 7 events, and Kevin Mayer of France has the lead ahead of Canada's Damien Warner. Marcel Hubo with a big move up from Estonia into the 3rd place position after an excellent high jump, and Kurt Felix has dropped out, and his half-brother Lyndon Victor has in fact also withdrawn, so both the Grenadans are now out of the competition. 60-metre hurdles for the heptathlons. There'll be 2 races, and here's the lineup for the first of them. Kaczmarek, who was the bronze medalist in London 2017, goes in 4. Let's introduce them one by one.
Introducing the athletes currently in 3rd
Here's
position
Hubo.
overall from Estonia, Michael Hubo.
High jump, 2 meters 17 to propel himself into medal contention.
France, Ruben Gardo.
Here's the man in 8th, Ruben Gardo.
In lane 4, currently 4th overall.
Kaczmarek is outside the medals, but 4th at the moment, and he's a good sprinter and hurdler.
Lane 5 for the USA.
Here's the United States, Zach Zymek, 6th overall at the moment, 7th in the Olympics, back in Rio in 2016 in the decathlon. And that will be the complete lineup, with Lyndon Victor having dropped out of the event.
They have sorted the 2 heats with the season best, so it will be as competitive as possible for both heats.
Yes, this is generally the slower group, so just the 4 athletes to take on at these 5 hurdles and 60 metres. Start of day 2 for them. I think we'll be looking at lanes 4 and 5, Kaczmarek and Zymek, if recent form is anything to go by. So look at Zachary Zymek, a little bit of work to do today, 6th so far. And look at Kai Kaczmarek. Frenchman Gardo. 8th overall in the rankings. And what has Hubo got in him after that stunning high jump?
On your marks.
So how pumped up he was last night, and he's maintained that focus as he prepares to settle in his blocks. First track action, day 3, IAAF World Indoor Championships. It's men's 60 metres hurdles for the heptathlon. Just the 4 runners in this first heat. Hubo in 2, Gardo in 3, Kaczmarek in 4, and Zymek in 5.
Set.
Away they go, and Ubo just trailing at the first hurdle. It is the American and Kazmarek who's going well. Kazmarek is going to take it ahead of Zymek. That's 7.95, and that is a personal best mark for the German to take victory in that 60 metres hurdles. Zachary Zymek clattered a hurdle late on there. Gardo was coming through as well. But it is a personal best mark, and 994 points for the German. Fine start to the second day of his heptathlon competition.
Yeah, and you can see how much that means to him. I mean, you know, to break 8 seconds, I think, is a big deal in the men's heptathlon. So to 7.95, really good performance. 8.09 was what he had coming in here, and he had a PB, a personal best of 8 seconds dead. So he's really excited with that, and you can see by his reaction. Really nice and active off the hurdles, and I think he really had this dominated from the block. So, and just drove really nicely all the way home.
I thought Zymek did well to hold on to second, considering how hard he hit the final hurdle. But there's quite a contrast here in the style. Kazmarek is very clean over these hurdles, while all around him really are clattering them along the way.
Yeah, if you look there, Zymek from the USA, really raggedy technique, arms all over the place. Not neat at all, but you know, Kazmarek right next to him, pretty good race, and Zymek next to him nearly fell over on that last hurdle.
He's gone a long way over to one side of his lane, Kazmarek, particularly towards the end. He's just also get a view of Zymek almost losing his footing.
If you hit the hurdle with the lead leg, that's much worse than with your second leg, because with the lead leg you will fall on the hurdle. Well, if you hit it on the second leg, more or less the hurdle will just fall under you, and it will not affect the speed that much.
Result of the first of the 60-metre hurdles races for the heptathletes. Kazmarek of Germany, a new personal best, 7.95 ahead of Zymek, and it was Ubo who came through for third place and 935 points. Damien Warner will be up in the next heat, the Canadian who lies in second place overall. So watching 4 competitors in that first heat, there'll be a bigger complement. 6 runners in all. They get a chance to come out. This is where it's slightly unusual for the more modern athletes. We look at the leader, Mayer, at the moment, because they'll come out, get a chance to warm up, and then they have to go out again to get introduced.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's might take a little bit of getting used to, because it isn't as traditional as normal, but I think that, you know, athletes can be adaptable, and I think we spoke about this a little bit earlier in the week, that as long as an athlete knows exactly what they have to do, they can mentally prepare for it. It's when things are kind of sprung on them without them mentally being able to prepare for it that I think it causes a little bit of a problem.
A little look outside, downstairs, under the stands here at Arena Birmingham. Warm-up area, 60-metre sprinters starting to think towards their races, which get underway very soon, actually. We're only about 11 minutes away from the first heat in the 60 metres, and these fans here will get to see the new world record holder, Christian Coleman.
Probably a little bit crowded in the warm-up area, considering there's 52 60-metre sprinters for the first round of the 60 metres.
And it doesn't look like there's that many lanes for them to actually warm up on, and that's where it can be quite dangerous, that crowding in that small area, because obviously with so many men running so fast, especially when you're driving out of the blocks and you're warming up in your block start, you're driving down, so your head's quite low, so you can't see if anyone's ahead of you. So if other people are not paying attention around you and they're walking across the track, this is when you can sometimes, and you've heard of it, where there's accidents where they just barge straight into somebody who's not paying attention walking on the track.
Yeah, I think the most famous one was when Dwight Phillips ran over Gabriel Azzabo, the indoor meet. I think it was in Ghent. He was coming down the track for a long jump, was looking down like a sprinter does, and then she crossed the track and he hit her like an American football player.
That must not have been comfortable for her at all, because he is a big guy and he can run 6:40, I think 6:46 or 6:49 in the 60, so he's got a lot of pace. We were just seeing some images there of a nice relaxed, it looked like a Jamaican athlete getting a little massage. She still had her coat on, it looked like, but had her legs out so she can get them massaged. Very relaxing.
Here we go with the start list for the 60-metre hurdles for the heptathlon. It's the second of the 2 heats this morning. Features the current leader, Kevin Mayer of France. Damien Warner is in the silver medal position at the start of the day. He'll go in lane 3, the two of them together. Stand by for the big introductions.
Introducing the athletes for the Czech Republic in lane 2, Jan Dojzal.
2015 European Junior Champion Jan Dojzal of the Czech Republic.
The athlete currently in second position overall for Canada, Damien Warner.
Canadian Damien Warner. Medals at the last 2 World Championships. Olympic bronze medalist in 2016.
In lane 4, the event leader for France, Kevin Mayer.
The gold medal favourite, France's Kevin Mayer, and he's still got the pole vault to come where he is
lane
strong.
5 for Austria, Dominik Distelberger.
The Austrian Dominik Distelberger, 27-year-old.
In lane 6 for Ukraine, Alexei Kazyanov.
Kazyanov, twice a world indoor silver medalist.
And finally for the Netherlands, Ilko Sint-Nicolaas.
And Sint-Nicolaas of the Netherlands come 5th in 2 World Championships. Get themselves set, and going into this, certainly on form this year, Damien Warner has proved to be the quickest. He actually is the quickest runner ever in the 100 metres in an Olympics. As we look at Mayer, who has run 7.79 this season. Warner has done 7.73 and is a prolific sprinter.
On your marks.
So Dojzal will be in 2 there on the near side. Damien Warner in 3, Mayer in 4, Distelberger 5, Kazyanov in 6, and Sint-Nicolaas in lane 7. Second heat, men's 60 metres hurdles in the heptathlon on this second morning.
Set.
Well, they've got a clean start. Mayer and Warner have both risen well. Sint-Nicolaas going pretty well, but this is about Warner. There's one pulled out as well. Warner from Mayer though, 7.67. That'll be his fastest time of the year. And Damien Warner, who was in the silver medal position at the start of the day, has managed to outpace the gold medal favourite Kevin Mayer to take victory in that second heat. 7.67. And we'll check on Kazyanov, who appeared to pull up in the latter stages of the race and may have sustained an injury. But there's the winner, Canada's Damien Warner, and there is Kazyanov, who had a problem late in that race and pulled up.
Yeah, I think he hit a hurdle and he just really threw him off his whole rhythm. He tried to carry on, but it just wasn't possible. He didn't look comfortable from the blocks, actually. Well, actually, he looked okay at the block. I think it was the first hurdle he hit. There you go, you can see it. Throws him completely off of his whole rhythm and his whole race. he tries to carry on, but he's just lost all his momentum, and it's really, really hard to get over those 3'6" hurdles if you haven't got the momentum going in. But there you go, Warner, 7.67,
yeah.
and actually the championship heptathlon best is by Ashton Eaton, and it's 7.64, so he wasn't actually too far off of that.
No, one of the best heptathlon runs we've seen at a World Indoor Championships. There's the head-on, Warner on the right, Mayer right in the centre, and the man who came fourth, Dominic Distelberger, on the left of picture. Powerful Warner. He wasn't clean over all the hurdles, but he clattered one further back.
You look at Warner,
didn't put him off at all.
Yeah, but if you look at Warner, you can see that his upper body is not moving at all. He's not twisting and turning like a lot of the other heptathletes.
I've actually just noticed that Warner, and I thought I saw this on the first live shot, he's actually trod on the line and got into the guy on the next lanes. So as we've been seeing, people have been getting disqualified for that. Let's see if that happens with him, because he actually slightly on a few strides went into someone else's lane, the guy on his left-hand side.
The rule says it only if you affect another athlete when you're running a straight like the 60. If it comes to you doing the laps around the track, then it means if you step outside, which means that your distance is not as full, that means you're disqualified. But when you're running a straight track like this, it's only if you affect anybody else.
Yes, it's that rule 153.3 that we've been quoting rather a lot in the first couple of days. The 60-metre hurdle is complete for the heptathlon, and now we have the world record holder out on the track, Christian Coleman. He initially broke the long-standing record of Maurice Green earlier in February, but in a race that couldn't be confirmed and ratified, so he just did it again in Albuquerque at the US Nationals.
Yeah, easy peasy, just like that. I mean, this record has stood for a little while, and like we said, Maurice Green had that 6:39 record for quite a while, and when he did that, everyone was absolutely blown away that he had gone under 6.40 seconds. So when Coleman's come along in his first race of the year and ran 6:37, it really shook the athletics world, and it kind of goes around everyone. Everyone's excited no matter what event you do, because you know the sprints are something, it's the fastest person or man or woman in the world, so it's something that everyone, you know, gets excited about. So, and then to go again, like we said, in the nationals and run 6:34 was a pretty big deal. One of the things I would like to say is that these performances that some of the US athletes did was in Albuquerque, and it's at altitude, so there's been lots of discussion of whether they can come down to sea level and still perform at the same level. So let's see if he can get close to that 6:34 again here tonight.
That's right.
He has to get through the rounds first, so let's just not get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, Christian Coleman, Ronnie Baker, the two fastest men in the world this year, two of the three fastest times ever recorded in 60 metres, but they're by no means the only story in this, because of course Su Bingtian of China, who we'll see later, had a very prolific season in the World Indoor Tour. The lineup for the first heat in the men's 60 metres. It features the world record holder, America's Christian Coleman, and the veteran Kim Collins goes in lane 4.
There will be 7 first-round heats. The first 3 in each heat, plus the next 3 fastest, will go through to the 75 past 7 tonight. Big first-round.
Look at the lineup as we go from the inside. The Cayman record holder, Kimala Hyman, former Florida State University student, is Zdeněk Stromčík of the Czech Republic. He is the reigning Czech champion. Now, can you believe this man was here competing in this championship 15 years ago? He was second. Kim Collins.
And alongside him, the youngest competitor in the whole
from the oldest to the youngest, Jacob El Aida, the 16-year-old from Malta. What a moment for him, and he's lined up next to the new world record holder, Christian Coleman of the United States. 6.34 seconds at the US Indoor Championships. Here's Odain Rose, the Swedish indoor champion, and the 19-year-old from Nauru Island, northeastern Australia, Jonah Harris.
It's Jonah Harris.
The qualifiers will be the first 3 in each heat, of which we have 7. And the next 3 fastest times will earn qualification
On your marks.
for the semi-finals. So they're called to their marks. Fast look up into the sky from Christian Coleman. All eyes on him. He has the world lead. He has the world record. Will he be a world champion? This is the start of the journey. Hyman, Stromczyk, Collins, Ada, Coleman, Rose and Harris. Oh, there's a false start by Hyman, I believe, in lane 2.
Yeah, that looked like an obvious false start, and unfortunately, I think this might be the end of his championships.
If the rules are what they are, there's looking like there's going to be 2 disqualification. Lane 6 as well, and that is Christian Coleman.
Well, there's a flinch from Coleman as well, but it's certainly Hyman who went first.
But isn't the rule usually if someone goes first, then it can set off the other person? So,
False start charged. Lane 2.
So unfortunately, it's a red card for Kima Hyman. We go at the second time with Stromczyk, Collins, Ella, Coleman, Rose and Harris.
yeah, well, you see there that 3 people have got the red, but I think that what happens is if someone goes really early, it sets everyone else off. So that's not your fault because you're naturally in that moment to react to any gun or any movement. So I think Coleman should be fine.
So Hyman is gone. The rest of the field
On your marks.
remains. Well, there was a brief heartbeat there that went missing for most of the audience. So with Hyman gone, it's Stromczyk in 3, Collins in 4, Aida in 5, Coleman in 6, Rose in 7, Harris in 8. Just gives you an insight into the kind of tension you get at a World Championships. Silence inside this arena. For the second time of asking, it's Heat 1, men's 60 metres.
Set.
And they're away, and it's a decent start from Coleman, and he's up and away and running well. Also going well is Rose outside him. Coleman takes it. Rose took second place, with Kim Collins coming through in 3rd place. But the world record holder didn't seem to get the most clean start as he came out of the blocks, but he then very quickly got back up into his stride, and in 6.71. That shows the kind of pace he's got, that he can actually stutter slightly in those very early steps as he got into his drive phase, but then he found his poise, and Sweden's Odain Rose came in 2nd place, and Kim Collins with the 3rd qualifying position to go through automatically. And Jonah Harris, incidentally, of Nauru, came in 4th. Replay again.
Coleman gets out, but there you go, right there, stumbles out of the blocks. But he doesn't worry, he's in such good shape, he knows. He even comes up and actually just canters through the line. He's not putting on any speed right here. The whole entire race, other than the first few strides, he didn't do much. He's in such great shape, and he's so far ahead of everyone at the moment, well, other than Baker, but in this field, that he can just literally go for a cruise. It was easy peasy.
You put that down to a little bit of nerves, though? All the attention's on him, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. He's one of the faces of the championships.
Yeah, and he's not really been in that situation before, has he? He's been running sides the likes of Usain Bolt and Justin Gatlin, and now he's coming here as the top favorite, and everybody is expecting him to deliver. But now he's into the competition with the heats done, moving on to the next race, and I think he'll do better from here.
Saw Stromczyk pull up actually in lane 3 there, the Czech champion, so that was an early end to his World Championships. But you can see by the end there, Coleman and also Rose looking across the line, because the front 3 were well clear of the rest of the field, and they are the automatic qualifiers from that race. Confirmation of the result of the first heat in the men's 60 metres. The world record holder Christian Coleman, 6.71 to earn qualification alongside Odain Rose of Sweden, and Kim Collins, the veteran, makes it to the semi-finals. 6.77 for the man from St Kitts and Nevis. Well, we talk a lot about the American performances this year, but here is an athlete from China who's been sensational. Su Bingqian, Chinese record holder, World Indoor Tour winner. Believe me, you'll want to wake up when you watch this man run.
Looking very relaxed there. Gloves, scarf, fur around the hood. Why not? And some boots that look pretty comfortable too. Keep those feet warm.
Yeah, it's a week for the feet warmers. 60 metres men, second heat of 7. Su Bingqian, the World Indoor Tour winner, will go in lane 4. Ari Roach out there in lane 7, finalist in 2014.
And in Heat 2, let's welcome a man who runs the opening leg.
We'll run across the
Trinidad and Tobago team,
lanes from 2 to 8. Keston Bledman, the 29-year-old from Trinidad and Tobago.
In 3,
here is Holder de Silva, 30-year-olds who holds the Portuguese under-23 title. Su Bingqian, 6.43, Guangdong province in China. Medal contender here without a doubt. Here's El Salvador's Juan Carlos Rodriguez, the 23-year-old. The German from ASV Cologne, Peter Emilis. A finalist in 2014, Kamari Roach of Jamaica. He's won 3 times this year as well. And from the Bahamas, the record holder there, Warren Fraser in lane 8. We saw what the pressure and tension did to the athletes in the first heat. How composed will this group be as they're called down now to their blocks? Rodriguez is the last of them. Su Bingqian certainly has been the star of the indoor tour. It's Bledman, De Silva, Bingqian, Rodriguez, Emilis, Roach and Fraser. Off they go, and Su Bingqian is very strong out of that drive phase, and he's up and running, and he's well clear of the rest, and he gets first, and it was Warren Fraser of the Bahamas who came in second place, 6.58, and the World Indoor Tour winner really does throw down the gauntlet and say this is not all about Christian Coleman and the Americans here in Birmingham. 6.59 is the rounded up time. Su Bingqian ahead of Warren Fraser of the Bahamas, who took second place. Kamari Roach in the same time took third place. So those are the 3 automatic qualifiers.
Yeah, he looked, you know, Su Bingqian looked absolutely supreme in that race. I mean, I love the way he gets out. He's so efficient when he gets out of those blocks. Very, very neat technically. He does everything that he needs to do to get from A to B as quick as possible. You want to be efficient. You know, I spoke to his coach. He's actually been being coached by the guys in the long jump yesterday, the 2 Chinese guys who are coached by Randy Huntington, who used to be Mike Powell's old coach. He's been being coached by him for the last 12 weeks. So apparently not really many people know that, but that's his new coach, who is also the national coach of China. And so he's been working, and I asked him, what is, you know, Su's, I guess, most... the best thing about him, he said he's absolutely one of the most mentally strong athletes he's ever worked with. He's extremely efficient when it comes to what he has to do in professional. I said, what's his weakness? He said his calf muscles. When he got to him, one of his weakest girl athlete has stronger calves than Su, so he's had to work a lot on his calf muscles, and that's made a massive improvement because calves are very, very important.
Well, a very impressive run from Su Bingqian to take victory in that first race for him. The result of the second heat, men's 60 metres. Su Bingqian of China, 6.59. Warren Fraser and Kamari Roach, the other automatic qualifiers, just ahead of Peter Emilis of Germany, who is in 4th. Well, the heptathletes are moving on to the pole vault. They started the day with the hurdles, and Kazimov has been disqualified We'll remind you of how that happened in just a moment. Damien Warner, 7.67, outpacing Kevin Mayer in that one. Let's have a look at what happened to Kazyanov. He's been disqualified for knocking over the final hurdle deliberately because he clattered the first one and then basically lost his thread here, and then as he comes up here to this hurdle, he is not supposed to do that. Pretty conclusive, I suppose. We've got you there. Summary of the heptathlon then, and Kevin Mayer remains in the gold medal position, but the margin is just 4 points from Damien Warner of Canada, and Kai Kaczmarek of Germany is currently in the 3rd place position, so holding on to a potential bronze medal. Start list now for the 3rd of the 7 heats in the men's 60 metres. For Jan Volko, European indoor silver medalist in lane 7. Hassan Taftian, the Iranian record holder, goes in lane 3. Here's Dominik Zaleski. He won the Czech title. 6.61 is his best. Hassan Taftian, the Iranian record holder.
In 4, he's got a lifetime best of
33 now, Emmanuel Calendar of Trinidad and Tobago.
In 5, 2017,
Austin Hamilton won the European indoor bronze medal, and he goes in lane 5.
In lane 6, he's got 9.88 for 100 metres for Zambia, Sydney Siame.
The Zambian strong 100-metre runner, Sydney Siame. Here's Jan Volko. He took silver at the European Indoor Championships, the Slovakian. And Alvin Martin for the Federal States of Micronesia in the Pacific, the 22-year-old. He's on the outside in lane 8.
On your marks.
We'll look at the Swede, Austin Hamilton there. 6.64 is the best he's gone this year. So Zaleski, Taftian, Calendar, Hamilton, Siame, Volko and Martin. Heat 3, men's 60 metres.
Set.
It looked like there was a little flinch there and a real big mistake made by Hamilton, and that's cost him. So Volko is coming through, but on the far side I think Zaleski came through to get second. 6.66. Well, there was a lot going on in that 6.66 seconds. There were people stumbling. There was also a little flinch just before the gun, but Volko kept his focus and comes through in lane 7 to take victory for Slovakia. Taftian was also up there close to the line, but I think Zaleski may well have just got there in front of him. First 3, of course, are the automatic qualifiers.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like Calendar was twitching a little bit before the start, and that affected Austin Hamilton a little bit, like he was moving back, and was surprised that it didn't get a call back.
Yes, and Zaleski went very well at the top of your screen there, and along with him was Taftian, but there was Volko to take victory, and it's tight. Taftian, in fact, has got the second place ahead of Zaleski. They've been given virtually the same time. They're 1/1000th of a second apart. But Hamilton knows that what happened in the first half second of that race effectively ended his World Championships there and then.
And when you do a 60-meter run, there's no room for error at all. Because you can't repair a mistake like you can maybe in a 200 or in 400, but in 60-meter, like you said, half a second, it's over.
Well, there's the winner, Volko, in 6.66. Very tight for second place. It's gone to Taftian, but Austin Hamilton of Sweden left trailing. And the Federal States of Micronesia athlete Martin actually came in 6th. Shot put final coming up later.
Yes, I think the men's shot put is one of the ones that I'm actually looking forward to. Having covered it over the World Indoor Tour, we saw some really good performances by some of the men. So, you know, we had 2 guys over 22 metres indoors, which is absolutely amazing, and a mark that you rarely see even outdoors. So, anything over 21 metres is usually classed as very, very good. So, yes, excited for that one a bit later.
And there will also be pole vault action for the heptathletes, where, Christian, I think you were looking at the stats earlier, and the man we're looking at ought to go into this with a big advantage over the rest of the field.
Yeah, and as you saw, Damien Warner did a really good race at the 60-meter hurdle, with boarding them up to just within 4 points of Kevin Mayer. So, and Kevin Mayer is a 50-60 pole vault jumper.
Let's confirm the result of the 3rd heat in the men's 60 metres. Jan Volko in 6.66 of Slovakia taking victory ahead of the Iranian Taftian, and Dominik Zaleski of the Czech Republic coming in as the 3rd automatic qualifier. It's heat 4 of 7 in the men's 60 metres. Emre Zafer Barnes of Turkey goes in lane 4. There'll be home British interest in Andrew Robertson, who goes in lane 6. Here's Christoph Boulos, the Lebanese record holder, who goes in lane 1, 6.89 this season. The other Chinese athlete in the field, Ji Zhenyi, 200-meter record holder back home. Francesco Molinari, the San Marino athlete, 23 years of age now, sub 7 seconds, but only just this year. Here's Emre Barnes, 6 Turkish records already this year. Lester Ryan, Montserrat, goes in lane 5. And here's Andrew Robertson.
23 bronze medalist Andrew Robertson.
Great reception for the British athlete.
In lane 7, the 17-year-old from the Solomon Islands.
Now here's a teenager, Paul Mayunikini from the Solomon Islands.
With 100-meter personal best of 10:26.
He'll go in lane 7. And here's the German who was second in the national championships, Michael Pohl, who goes in lane 8.
On your marks.
We have seen Su Bing Chan produce an excellent run already. Shi Zhenyi, well, can he follow suit as they're called to the blocks for this heat 4, with Boulos in 1, Zhenyi in 2, Molinari 3, Barnes in 4, Ryan 5, Robertson 6, Mayunikini in 7, and Paul in 8.
Set.
Well, there was a false start there, and that might well have been Molinari, who was out early. Also, possibly Robertson appeared early. He's had experience of being disqualified in the European indoor final for a false start. Let's take another look at it. What do we think?
Yeah.
Well, it could be Robertson.
It looked like Ryan from Montserrat had a little bit of a twitch and sent Robertson off next to him, so
there we go, with every single one of them receiving red, but you then look at the reaction times on that. And this is a moment to wait with bated breath.
it looks like Robertson was the first one to move, but to me, Ryan next to him had a slight twitch. Now, what it means is the pressure on the block. So maybe Ryan next to him didn't move the pressure on the block straight away, but because of that twitch, it set Robertson off, and actually he moved on the block, so he might have had the false start, unfortunately. Let's see.
interesting.
Well, mentioned before, Andrew Robertson was full started in the European indoors. And
Let's see if it's. Oh, it looks like it might be a yellow
card. Oh, it's a yellow, possibly.
Thank goodness. I was hoping it was going to be a faulty start and not a false start. Ooh.
They're judging it, like you said, Jade, it's the twitch that they are giving the yellow card for, not leaving the blocks.
I think that was shown to Molinari as well, wasn't it, in lane 3. Oh, breathe again.
Talk about dodging a bullet.
This
Robertson
audience.
got a good one there to get out of that.
On your marks.
So Boulos will settle down in the blocks in lane 1, Ji Zhenyi in 2, Molinari in 3, Barnes in 4, Ryan in 5, Robertson in 6, Mayunikini in 7 and Paul in 8. This is heat 4 in the first round of the men's 60 metres here at these World Championships.
Set.
There you go. It was a decent start by Boulos originally, but then Barnes has come through very strongly. It's Barnes and the Chinese athlete Ji, and then it could have been Pole, I think, who just outpaced Robertson on the line. But Barnes certainly produced a very strong mid-race performance, a strong burst by the Turkish athlete to take the victory. Ji Zhenyi was in there in second place with him, and I think Michael Pole has just edged out Andrew Robertson for the third automatic place. We'll get confirmation of that in a moment, but no doubt about the winner. It's Emre Zafer Barnes of Turkey, with Ji Zhenyi of China coming through in second, and indeed Pole has taken third.
Andrew Robertson, I think at the moment is qualified with the fastest time of 6:74, but he still has to wait for another 3 heats to go by until he can breathe a sign of relief.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be happy with that at all. I spoke to him in, I think it was Dusseldorf or Tehran. Seems like a long time ago now, but he was really excited. I think he's in, you know, he's a 6:50 runner. And so he really thinks he's in great shape. Spoke to him and his coach in the hotel, and he was really excited about it. He didn't run too good. If I recall, he ran 6:71, I think. And, you know, he wasn't very happy about that. But here we go. Here's Barnes. Really lovely drive phase. Powerful arms. Really drive into the line. Very good technique, actually. Just eases off. Knows he's got this one. Has a little look around. 6:58. Number 1 qualifier in the 7th. Are we in the 7th heat already? No, we're in the 4th heat.
We're only 4 in.
A bit ahead of myself there.
More to come. More to come. The results of heat 4 of the men's 60 metres. Emre Zafer Barnes, now of Turkey, of course, 6.58. The automatic qualifiers are also Ji Zhenyi of China and Michael Pole. But as we mentioned, Andrew Robertson, 6.74. We'll be hopeful he could get through as one of the next 3 fastest, but he's still got to see a few more races, 3 more in total in this first round. In heat 5, one of the athletes who was part of the successful relay gold medal team for Great Britain, the World Championships in London in 2017, CJ Uja. He will go in this next race. We have some tough competition. There is the multiple Spanish champion, Rodriguez. Here they are, the 8 athletes who will compete in heat 5 of the men's 60 metres. Arthur Cisse has won 3 times over 60 metres this season. What a great night it was for the Ivory Coast last night. First IAAF gold medal.
Once again, all
with Muriel Ahuri in the 60 metres for women.
And some long journeys once again. In lane 1, representing Ghana.
From Ghana, here's Sean Safo Andwi, the 27-year-old. holds dual citizenship with Ghana and
In
Britain.
lane 2, 17 years of age.
Here's
from
Karalo
Tuvalu.
Maibuka, just a
Maibuka.
teenager, 17 years of age, from
In 3
Tuvalu.
from Comoros, it's Abdul
From
Rifai.
Comoros, here is Abdul Rifan, 25-year-old athlete who's run 6.87. He is a Spanish champion over 100 metres 7 times in his career. Angel Rodriguez.
Pump it up as we welcome a member of the world gold medal
Sure to be a
winning
great
team
reception
and the national
for
champion for Great
CJ
Britain,
Uja. Let's feel this Birmingham crowd are getting into it as well now on this second morning of competition. Nick Joseph of St Lucia, the teenager, will go in lane 6. Sean Gill is in lane 7.
Third in the Central American
Belize.
Championships for Belize, Sean Gill. And in lane 8,
And
winning
Arthur
in Paris
Cisse
over 60 metres from
of the
Côte
Ivory
d'Ivoire,
Coast
it's
is on the
Arthur
outside
Cisse.
in lane 8. He's had 3 victories over 60 metres so far in this indoor season. There are the current qualifiers by time, those who haven't finished in the top 3 in their races. Led by Robertson of Great Britain. Here's his fellow countryman Uja on the left of the picture, lining up against Angel David Rodriguez of Spain. Will go in lane 4. Well, form-wise, this could be quite tight. Safo Antwi, Maibuka, Rifan, Rodriguez, Uja, Joseph, Gill and Cisse left of the picture. Heat 5, 60 metres. This is a clean start with Antwi getting a very good start. And it's Antwi away, and here comes CJ Uja. And on the line, CJ Uja gets it. I think Cisse came in second, and Antwi across in lane 1 may well have held on for third place. It's 6.59 seconds. Really strong finish from the British sprinter CJ Uja, and something to get the Birmingham fans up on their feet with a home victory in that heat 5 of the men's 60 metres.
Yes, 6:59, the same time as Su Bin Tian actually, so pretty good times. Really good to get under 6:60 at this time in the morning. It's pretty early for these athletes, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to shake out the cobwebs out of your legs, but really good run by CJ there. You know, he's not too overly excited and showing too much emotion right now because it is the heat, but I think he really appreciated this home crowd spurring him on down that last 20 metres.
And here it is. What's a really good start made in lane 1.
Yeah, the athlete in lane 1 got out really well, but you know that didn't trouble CJ at all. He keeps to his form. You know that you're always told, run your own race in your own lane and don't worry too much what's going on behind you or around you. And here you go, drives out really well. You know, you've got to kind of stay low, and it takes a lot of technical and expertise and practice to stay low all the way through. When you come up out of your run, that's when you just really put those transitional phases into play. Look, here you go, front on shot, relax, blowing through the mouth, driving those arms, really picking those knees up. A little tense for me actually for CJ, but you know, I think he wanted to finish in front. Number 1, it means he's got a good lane for the semi-final, which I'm sure is going to be on fire.
Confirmation of the result. CJ Uja of Great Britain in 6.59 seconds taking victory. Cisse came through just on the line to pip Safo Antwi. They were separated by the tiniest of margins, both in 6.66 seconds. And Angel David Rodriguez of Spain, 6.71 seconds for 4th place. He could still have a part to play in this 60 metres event. Downstairs we have a mixture of shot putters and also middle distance runners are taking their first tentative steps out onto the warm-up area. Coats needed, tracksuits emerging from the freezing outdoors in the Midlands in England. Here's the lineup for Heat 6 in the men's 60 metres. It's the penultimate heat. Look out for Everton Clark in lane 4. And again, strong Ivory Coast interest in Mete in lane 7. Let's have a look at them then. Representing Pakistan, UK-based, a Sale Harriers runner, just up to the northwest of here, Umar Kayem Hamid. Nazmi Lee Marai, Papua New Guinea, 26-year-old. Second in the Asian Championships for Qatar, Tosin Ogunodi. Is Everton Clark, second in Ostrava and Karlsruhe over 60 metres, the Jamaican.
In lane 5, the 2017 Francophone Games champion for Seychelles.
Seychelles athlete Dylan Sikobo goes in lane 5.
In lane 6, 4 times the national indoor champion for
Olszewski of Poland is a 4-time national champion.
Olympic 100-meter finalist of 4 African titles.
There he is, another athlete from the Ivory Coast, Ben Youssef Maté. Accomplished runner. Adel Cisse goes on the outside, the Sierra Leone runner, 27-year-old in lane 8.
On your marks.
So Hamid, Marai, Ogunode, Clark, Sikobo, Olszewski, Maté and Cisse. Heat 6, men's 60 metres, first round.
Set.
And they are away. Decent start made by the Polish athlete, and also going well is Maté, and it's the Ivory Coast athlete who wins it. Maté, I think, just in front of Olszewski of Poland. Everton Clark was in there in the mix as well. 6.62 seconds, though, for the winner from the Ivory Coast, the 4-time African champion, Ben Youssef Maté. Looks a little bit uncomfortable with the way it all came to an end for him, just shaping to hold his knee.
Yeah, it looks like he might have picked up a slight niggle. I always feel very, very uncomfortable with the way that they have to run up that bank and kind of smack. The speed that they're coming down that 60 metres, there's not really much slowing space, and they've got to run up that bank and kind of smash into the barrier at the end. And, you know, it's a lot of force that's going into it, so you have to be very careful. But, yeah, you know, lane 7 really gets out very, very well. Not the best start out of the field, and I think that's the athlete in lane 2, actually, in lane 3, but Maté comes through really well, and I'm assuming, you know, after watching his... Oh, and there you go.
Everton Clark coming through for third.
For third place.
So Ogunode beaten out to 4th. And see if we can pick up anything on Maté just here.
Yeah.
Whether he's actually... It's after the line that he's actually starts to feel it, not actually when he hits the...
Yeah, I saw. I mean, when he went up the ramp, he slightly went over on his foot, and I think it might have twinged his knee slightly. You know, it's quite. Look there. See, he kind of does a little bit of a jerk, and that, you know, athletes are very, very refined. So any slight movement, any slight uneven surface, you know, cause injuries.
Well, he's going to go away and have a little look at that possibly, and just check it's nothing too serious. The result of Heat 6, men's 60 metres, Ben Youssef Maté of Ivory Coast at 6.63, ahead of Olszewski of Poland and Everton Clark of Jamaica. Those are the 3 automatic qualifiers, but there's a 6.72 time posted by the Qatar athlete Tosin Ogunode in 4th place.
I think after seeing his 2 fellow countrywomen yesterday, Maté might want to do well.
The 7th and final heat features the 2nd fastest man in the world this year, Ronnie Baker of the United States. He ran 6.40 seconds behind Christian Coleman in that now famous meeting in Albuquerque. It's the 3rd fastest time of all time indoors. And here is the start list for the 7th heat. We have a couple of non-starters, Andrew Fisher and Abdur Rauf. Are both non-starters, leaving 5 others to contest for the automatic placings, which is the first three.
Down the track, we've got 2 withdrawals in this heat. Let's welcome those that are there, starting with the athlete in 2 for Swaziland, Sibusiso Matsendwa.
So Andrew Fisher of Bahrain not being there means one contender is gone, as we saw Matsendwa, the national record holder of Swaziland. Here's Mohammed of Saudi Arabia, 4th in meeting in Boston, promising junior. Here's Ronnie Baker. A big medal prospect from the United States, despite all the talk about Christian Coleman. We have to go right from lane 4 to 7. Jean-Yann de Grasse from Mauritania, and Eric Gray of the Philippines was the Asian champion over the 400-meter hurdles in 2017. That's the latest on the qualifiers, and there is not a lot in it, but those three, Rodriguez, Organode and Robertson, in possession of the 3 qualifying times. So Ronnie Baker's 6.40 seconds. Only Maurice Green and Christian Coleman have gone more quickly. A 60 metres track of 2 halves, effectively, at the top and the bottom of the screen. Baker goes in 4. Matsendwa, Mohammed, Baker, de Grasse and Cray.
Set.
Off they go. Mohammed got a good start against Ronnie Baker there, but Baker now up into his stride, running strongly, and it was Baker from Mohammed. And the time is 6.56 seconds for Ronnie Baker, and the 2 Americans have negotiated the heats in contrasting styles in many ways. If there was a slight moment of panic for Coleman, there certainly wasn't really for Ronnie Baker in that one. And a good start as well made by the Saudi Arabian Mohammed, who came through to get 2nd place, and it was de Grasse who managed to pick up the 3rd place position. And those are the 3 automatic qualifiers, with Eric Cray 4th in 6.81, so it means that the qualifying times will now be confirmed for those who are sweating it out.
Well, if Christian Coleman looked a little bit nervous in his heat, I must say Ronnie Baker looked quite comfortably here in his first heat and first competition of the World Championship. Not doing more than he has to, but still runs a 6:57 race, which is not bad at all if you look at the rest of the times through the whole field. He drives through, looks relaxed through the whole race, not looking to the left, not looking to the right, don't care what the others are doing, just do his own job.
So Baker looking cool and confident. It's the athlete de Grasse from Mauritius who got 3rd place. You see how relaxed Baker is there, though. He's safe in the knowledge that he'd won that race with plenty to spare. Confirmation of the result, the 7th and final heat of the men's 60 metres. Ronnie Baker of the United States taking victory in 6.57 seconds ahead of the Saudi Arabian Mohammed in 2nd. Jean-Yann de Grasse 3rd for Mauritius. National record as well down the field for Matsendwa. Summary of the first round then, and Ronnie Baker's time there was just the quickest, 6.57 seconds ahead of Emre Zafer Barnes, the Turkish athlete who looked impressive earlier on. Su Bing Chan and CJ Uja also looking good this morning. Mighty keeping the Ivory Coast sprint interest alive. Christian Coleman ran 6.71 in qualifying. We know he can go a bit quicker than that. Organode of Qatar is one of those who has qualified alongside Andrew Robertson of Great Britain, despite finishing outside the top 3. And great to see the name of Kim Collins still going strong at 41 years of age. and he will be in the semi-finals. Well, there, Christian.
Yeah, they're back again. Looks like it's the same Swedes that we saw yesterday and the day before yesterday.
They're your fan club, I think, Christian. They come here just for you.
Yeah, they look old enough to be back when I was competing.
We've seen a fair few events as we also take a look at the athletes down in the warm-up area, but that's the Swedish contingent. You must know them all on first-name terms, don't you, Christian?
Yeah, there's Bengt, Peter.
I think you bought them all a drink down the years.
I actually recognize a few of them. I'm bad with names, but I've seen them at championships. I actually think some of them are from the Swedish Federation as well.
Okay, we're in the field for the women's triple jump
Final women's triple jump coming up then. And there is the lineup. Sound and light show ready to introduce them all.
Athletes, and we start with the defending
it's a big field,
champion from Venezuela.
And here's Rojas of Venezuela. She is the defending champion, the 22-year-old.
Jumping at 2 for Greece, the world and European
the Greek World Indoor Bronze medalist from 2016, a European bronze medalist as well, and a European medalist too is Papachristou.
2 times the national champion.
Now here's Kristina Mäkelä of Finland, the 25-year-old Olympic finalist, a 9-time Finnish champion.
At 4, twice
here's Tori Franklin, the US indoor champion on 2 occasions, 25 years of age now. The Brazilian Nubia Suarez still holds the South American junior record holder title. Gabriela Petrova of Bulgaria is next up, silver medalist in the 2015 European Championships.
Jumping at 7, 6 wins already this year.
Here's Prokopenko, competing as an authorized neutral athlete.
Jumping at 8, European
and a successful season indoors. Elena Andreea Panduru of Romania, European under-23 champion just last year.
Jumping at 9, the UK-based national record holder of Lithuania,
the Lithuanian Devil Zinzazaite, 24-year-old former European under-23 champion.
Jumping at 10, national champion
Irina Plaskuskaya of Belarus. First in the national championships this year. Authorised neutral athlete is Anna Krylova. Vastly experienced, 32-year-old now. Competed in the 2007 World Championships. And here's Shanika Ricketts, a college star in America with 3 titles under her belt. San Diego State University.
National record holder of the USA,
Katura Orji of the United States was 4th at the Rio Olympics. She's a US record holders indoor
at 14,
and
the
out.
national record holder of Dominica,
Thea Lafond of Dominica. World Student Games champion last year, the German Neil Eckhardt.
At 16,
Olympic finalist at the last 2 games, the Jamaican Kimberly Williams.
And finally for Spain,
and
the European under-23
Spanish star Ana Pelotero is the last of the 17 competitors in this triple jump final. Christian, you're going to be looking after this and watching it very closely. Looking forward to it?
Oh, absolutely. I I mean, with a star like Julia Rojas from Venezuela, who is the world champion from London. She is a 50-meter jumper as well, so she might as well produce a really good result here today, and I'll be watching it closely.
Straight final, and they'll get underway in the next few minutes. And you can see a very quick conversion going on right at the centre of the arena. And there she is, the defending champion.
First up in the women's triple jump is Julia Rojas. Comes into this champion with no scissors best, but she is invited due to her competitions outdoor 2017. See what the favorite can do. A little bit of a safety jump, I'd say, just to get into the competition. Not bad, but good rhythm. But when Julia is jumping at her best, she tends to, well, look more aggressive, push much more. And I think we'll see that in the later rounds coming up. I suspect this will get her all the way to the 6 jumps this evening. 14:24, season best.
Looked very easy too, that 14:24.
Next up in the women's triple jump, Papachristou of Greece, 28-year-old, has a PB of 14:47, so she knows how to triple jump. Looks happy with that. White flag. Jumped 14:25 this indoor season. $14.05 puts her in the second place. Kristina Mäkelä from Finland. Done a lot of championships, global ones, and a lot of experience. First attempt. Looked like it might be a really good, no, fortunately. Don't think it was a big foul though. Maybe a small adjustment to the next round, and we'll see what she can do. US usually has a lot of American triple jumping men, but not a lot of women who has come out over the years. But happy to see Tori Franklin here, the US champion. White flag. It's always a good sign. You see in the replay here that she's placing her feet a little bit too long in front of her body, not underneath. And that means that that takes a lot more power to come up from that phase. So if she can come a little bit underneath herself in the hop and the step, I think she'll increase quite a bit. 14:03. Nubia Soares from Brazil. South American junior record holder, only 21 years old. I think she might have felt that was a no jump. but she fouled at the board, so she aborted the jump, so to speak. A few instructions from a coach, and she'll be at it again in round 2. Gabriela Petrova, Bulgaria, has a nice PB of 14.55, not quite there yet this season. See if we can go over 14 already here in the first round, 14 meters. Maybe a little bit too much will in that jump. The thing with triple jump is it's not like long jump in a way where you can really go for it. You have to pace yourself for every hop and the step and the jump. If you go out too much in the first, you'll have ruined your chances of producing a good hop and then the jump, or the step and the jump, sorry. No jump for Petrova. Victoria Propenko, second world lead this year.
And this is actually an international debut, apparently, so all this is new to her.
Looked okay, I think. I think she fell through in the last step a little bit.
Yeah, she didn't really look like she carried her speed well through her step phase, and maybe that's the reason. Looked like 10 centimeters behind the board.
Yeah, if you're that far behind board, you're usually stretching for the board, which puts you in well, not a good position to start your jump. 13.76 for Victoria, puts her in the 4th position. First attempt, Andrea Panturiu. White flag. She shakes her head a little bit, but I think it was an okay jump. Just coming into this competition with 14.22. Really good hit on the board as well.
She looks like she held her step phase really well, much longer than some of the other ladies. It looked pretty good. That was 14.05 in the first round.
Yeah. Nice start. Deville from Lithuania. First attempt. This competition. A little bit forward rotation in the final part, but the first hop and the step looked, I think, totally okay.
She looks pretty tanned. Maybe she's been somewhere nice, warm weather training, preparing for this World Indoor Championships.
Well, she hasn't been in the northern part of Europe, I can tell you that. It's a few centimeters up on the board. 13.90. Puts her in 5th position.
Let's move back to the track. There are 3 heats, as are effectively semi-finals for automatic qualification through to a final. And this is the first group of athletes who will take on that 1,500 metres. Heat 1 contains a former world champion and a European indoor champion.
Final. 8 athletes out on the track. Mohamed Ismail for Somalia.
It's Mohamed Ismail,
And then
he's
drawn at
Somalian,
7,
based
the
in
European
North
indoor
London.
champion at 800
Marcin
metres,
Lewandowski.
representing Poland, Marcin Lewandowski.
European indoor champion.
Alongside
Second
him,
running in
drawn
Glasgow
6,
last week.
undefeated in 2018, a world
Is
finalist
Chris
in
O'Hare,
2017,
a world
for Great
championship
Britain, Chris
finalist.
O'Hare.
Now studying at Harvard University in the United States.
Dario Ivanovsky
Chris
goes
O'Hare
for
gets a
Macedonia.
cheer from the crowd. The Macedonian Dario Ivanovsky is
Ben
alongside him.
Blankenship was
Ben
runner-up in the
Blankenship
National
is
Indoor
second
Championships.
in the US Indoor Championships this year.
At 3, the national
Aman
record holder for
Wote, sixth in
Ethiopia, Aman
Portland, but a
Wote.
silver in Sopot 2014 for the
And
Ethiopian.
drawn at 2, he's had bronze
Now
medals at the
Aguida.
last 3 Olympic finals for Morocco.
2012 winner
Aguida.
in Istanbul.
And on the inside, Tuak Day for Sudan.
Here is Day
7.5
Tuak
laps
Day,
at the
the
track,
Sudanese
8 men
athlete
for 2 places in the final.
who won the Staten Island Mile this year. He goes in lane 1. First 2 of each heat go through automatically, and it's the 3 fastest times. Men's 1500 metres, heat 1 of round 1. And straight away on the inside we saw Day, the Sudanese athlete, have a bit of a problem and get completely blocked out. He's still tussling away as they try and find their feet, and there's still some movement going on with Blankenship in there as well. Well, you're best off trying to avoid that kind of physical confrontation early on, and Day's still at the heart of it as they go down the back straight, with Aguida, the Moroccan athlete, sitting at the front. The pace fairly slow at the moment as they find their feet in this race, in this opening round. Also athletes to look out for. Wote has got so much pedigree. He was 6th in the final in Portland in 2016, but I mentioned before that he's been a medalist in these World Championships in Poland 4 years ago. And Chris O'Hare is an interesting story as well, one of a promising group of emerging British runners.
Yeah, and he actually ran a really good race in Boston on the IAAF World Tour a few weeks ago, and he ran 3:37. Him and the teammate Jake Whiteman both ran the same time, so it was a pretty hotly contested race that day.
Yeah, there's a good rivalry between that pair at the moment, which augurs well for the home nation as they come down onto that back straight. It's still Wote who has the lead, but O'Hare is getting roared on as well as they go through 600 metres at 1:32.88 in this first round of the 1500 metres.
Also, Lewandowski's had quite a busy indoor season so far. I saw him on most of the World Indoor Tour meets through Karlsruhe, Dusseldorf and Torun. I think in Torun he ran at 800, and he said that he was using it as a bit of speed. Or he ran a 1500, sorry, using it a bit of speed for the 800, so it's interesting to see him here running the 1500.
Field's pretty stretched, and we've actually lost an athlete as well, so there has been one who has dropped out. It may well have been Ismail. I'll confirm that as they come down now with 3 laps to go. Lewandowski, the European indoor champion, is at the back of that front group of 5. It's the first 2 in each heat who will qualify. And Chris O'Hare of Great Britain is being urged to stay in contact with Wote and Aguida. He's in 3rd place at the moment. Blankenship, the United States athlete, 2nd in his national championship, there with a headband on, is in 4th place. Lewandowski looks to be just sitting and monitoring things from the back, but is he going to start to think about making a move, because we've got only 2 laps to go?
Yeah, you know, I think I see him do that, and as you see right now, he's making his move up that back straight, and that's where you're going to want to make your move. You want to make the move on the straight so that you're not going to get into that trouble that we've seen a little bit on those bends. You know, those bends are a little bit steep, so you don't want to get, you know, into tripping over each other or even tripping over yourself. So here you go, Lewandowski's coming up on the outside, going, moving just on the shoulder of the athlete in 2nd place. Nice position, really good tactics. I don't think he's going to really be in much trouble. I think you're going to see him kick again in that next. Oh, and there's a...
Well, there's a big problem for O'Hare. He's struggling. Wote, though, with 100 metres to go. Blankenship has made a move. Lewandowski's tied to the inside on the curb. Aguida's in 2nd. It's the first 2 in each heat will qualify. Blankenship is making a big move. Wote's got to hang on. Aguida takes it. It was really close for 2nd place, though. With the first 2, remember, only guaranteed of qualification. And Aguida got himself into position to secure victory in those last few metres, but there was quite a stepping on the gas from Blankenship of the United States, who put Wote under pressure, but Wote held on and has been credited with 2nd place, Blankenship 3rd.
Yeah, Aguida's actually, one of the ones I think contending for the medals. He's been one of the more supreme athletes on this indoor season, and he was also, quite busy on the World Indoor Tour. So, looked very, very smooth on this back straight, very in command of the race, not even really a grimace or anything on his face. Whereas if you look at Lewandowski, he's grimacing, gritting his teeth, really having to dig deep to try and keep up with these guys.
Yeah, Lewandowski in the end couldn't make that ground up and fell back into fourth. You can see it was close on the line, but Wote held on to take that second place. Blankenship will have to wait and see. Chris O'Hare of Britain just couldn't keep pace with them. Result of the 1500 metres first round, first race. Straight qualification for the final after this, of course. Aguida of Morocco, 340.13, ahead of Wote of Ethiopia. Those are the two automatic qualifiers. Lewandowski down there in fourth, and Great Britain's Chris O'Hare run down into fifth.
OJ, first attempt in the women's triple jump. A little bit sketchy up against the board the last few steps, but the hop phase or the whole jumping phase looks good.
She looked like she carried everything through quite well. Not too much collapsing on each phase. And pretty good on the board.
Yeah.
Apparently she didn't contest the US Indoor Championship trials, but was invited to compete here in Birmingham by the IAAF.
14:13 moves up into second place.
Start list for the second race of the men's 1500 metres. It's the first round, and you need to be in the top two to automatically qualify for the final. It includes the Czech, known for a fast finish, Jakub Halusa. Vincent Kebet was in the 2016 final in Portland. Here's Marc Alcala, fourth in the 2017 European Championships, the Spaniard. There's Harvey Dixon, running for Gibraltar, actually based at the Aldershot Farnham District Club down in the south of England. Vincent Kebet was seventh in Portland 2016. Here's the Ethiopian Samuel Tefera. He's only 18 years of age. Now, the 30-year-old Musa Hajari of Kosovo, national record holder, Ryan Gregson, has set the best mark in his country, Australia. 2015, he was the European indoor champion, Jakub Halusa. And here's the Swede in the yellow vest, Kalle Berglund. Those are the best times historically and for 2018. Some great names at the top of that list in particular.
On your marks.
Away they go. Watch for the sharp elbows and the physical contact as they try and settle into some kind of routine and find their ideal position in these early stages of this second heat in the men's 1500 metres. Immediately the Spaniard Alcala, who's a former European under-23 champion, has gone to the front, and the Swede Berglund has gone with him, and it's a fairly evenly spaced out field in the early stages of this race. The Kenyan Kibet has settled himself down right at the back of the field. He reached the final in Portland a couple of years ago, and the Ethiopian Tefera, just a teenager, also third from the left of camera at the back there of the field. As Alcala sets out his stall with the early lead, but 6 more laps still to go.
Yeah, Kebet is actually the fastest in the field on personal best with 3:34.91. So, that's pretty useful. And he's coming in here with a season best of 3:36.86, ahead of Tefera, who's actually, I think, the fastest in this field with 3:36.05. but Halusa's very, very useful as well, and also been pretty busy this indoor season.
Yes, Halusa is the man who seemingly is able to produce something from nothing. He appears to be out of races, but he's known for having such a good kick and a really good finish.
You know, and he had said that when asked why that is, how does he do it, he said he doesn't know exactly what it is, but something just takes over his mind. So I thought that was very interesting.
It's interesting when we talk about the mechanics sometimes so much, but then other times it's something that's unanswerable. It's something that is just there, and it just happens. It's a natural reaction.
Well, like we've been saying, it's all about the mental at this level. Yes, the physical is extremely important. All these guys are very physically fit, but you know, Halusa at that last minute just has that extra mental toughness to go through the pain barrier and really kick when it needs to. Let's see if he can do it here tonight, this morning, excuse me.
Yeah, here goes Kibet, who's made his move up, and also he brings Tefera, the Ethiopian, with him. The leader is Musa Hajari, who's the Kosovan record holder, 30 years of age now. But the two Africans have now gone either side of him, and Samuel Tefera, just 18 years of age, strides out into the lead with 3 laps to go. It'll start to get interesting, the pace will start to pick up, and people will start realising that they may need to make their move fairly soon now. We're at the 1,000-metre mark, just the 500 to go. And Halusa just sitting there. We talked about his finish. Well, he's in about 5th place, just in the left, in the Czech Republic vest. The Australian Gregson is also handily placed in 4th at the moment, but I think they look rather menacing, the two African performers, Tefera and Kibet, looking very comfortable, and they're just stretching the legs of Hajari as well to try and hold on to them. A little bit of a grimace from him now at 1,200 metres.
You know, when you look at, you know, distance runners, coming from the field where it's all short and sharp, when you look at a distance runner, I always think to myself, you know, when you see them so easy going into this last lap and their face is so relaxed, you know, are they not feeling that pain?
It's Tefera who's taken the bell in the lead, and the Ethiopian is stretching his legs along the back straight here in Birmingham. Gregson is putting Quebec under some pressure. Halusa's got to find one of those big kicks, but it's looking pretty elusive for him at the moment. Tefera is bringing them into the home straight with Quebec behind him, and Gregson trying to get that second automatic space, but he's not going to get it. It's Ethiopia 1, Kenya 2, Australia 3, and Halusa run out of it on this occasion. Tefera produced a really strong last lap there, and in 3:44 dead, he takes victory. Well, we take a look at the closing stages. Quebec had to look over his shoulder. He saw that Gregson was producing a real kick at the end, but Gregson will be run out of it, and also his time will not be enough to see him go through.
Kimberly Williams of Jamaica, first round attempt, 7 times Jamaican champion, comes in here with a season best of 14:16. That's a good jump from her. White flag. Well balanced jump from Kimberly. Might be up there. Challenge Yulimar Rojas for the lead. Oh, she does. 14:37 season's best. Kimberly Williams moves up into 1st position.
Result of the second race in the first round in the men's 1,500 metres. It's victory for Ethiopia through Samuel Tefera in 3 minutes 44 ahead of Vincent Kibet. Ryan Gregson of Australia finishing in 3rd. Alcala and Halusa the next athletes to follow, but their championships are over. Let's have a look at the heptathlon. The summary after 5 of the 7 events as Kevin Mayer takes them into the pole vault in gold medal position, a 4-point lead over Canada's Damien Warner, who's had a really impressive couple of days as well. Kai Kazmirek of Germany is in 3rd. The first athlete we're going to see is in fact the man in the silver medal position. It's Damien Warner. and he's taking on 4 meters 80.
That would be an equal PB, personal best for Damien Warner if he goes clear of this. Not the strongest event for Damien. I think he might need this and a few more highs to keep a pace with Kevin Mayer. Well, good jump from Damien Warner, equal PB.
It looks like he's definitely got much more to come in there, actually. Very nice and neat jump.
The third and final race in the first round of the men's 1500 metres. The UK indoor champion Jake Whiteman at the top of the screen there. Look out for world indoor champion Manala Suleiman, who actually doesn't start. So that's a surprise late move for an athlete who's been in good form as well this season, with 2 non-starters in fact in the field.
18-year-old Mikhail Soloshenko.
We look at Soloshenko, Kyrgyzstan, Equatorial Guinea represented by Nzema, is the Bahrainian. Miku, who's actually out as well, so that's the second non-starter. Odom Sat of Cambodia, we just saw there. And there's third at the US indoors, Craig Endels. Ghazouzi, the Moroccan, based in London. And then it's Jake Whiteman, national champion, and as he's introduced to the crowd, the man who's actually doing that introduction is his father and coach, Jeff.
Very interesting. It must be very strange for them both, I think. But very proud dad, I'm sure.
Well, if he's in contention in the last stages, if we look at the current qualifiers by time, I'll try and have a little listen in the back of my flick a headphone off and hear what Jeff's got to say. 1500 metres then, the third heat, and it's the first 2 in each, who of course will be the qualifiers, and then only 3 others will advance to the final. So it's a reduced field as well. We've lost Suleiman, we've lost Miku, the Bahrainian, both of whom actually would have been competitive in this field, particularly Suleiman of Djibouti, who's won twice this season, the 2014 champion. So disappointing that he didn't make the start list, but these are the ones who have, and it's Nzema, the Equatorial Guinea athlete, who's taken them out into the lead, ahead of Craig Engels of the United States of America. Jake Whiteman in 4th place at the moment. I mentioned the battle he had with Chris O'Hare over in Boston at the World Indoor Tour event. And already this field looking pretty spread. A group of 4 breaking away from the rest of them. So through 400 metres with Nzema in front, Engels in 2nd, and it's Ghazouzi, the Moroccan, in 3rd, and Whiteman in 4th with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, this heat is looking pretty relaxed. I feel like they all look quite confident. No grimacing yet. Not too much bunching. I feel like it's a smart race so far in terms of let's not get on each other, heels too much. With 5 laps to go, I'm sure it'll wind up and turn up in the last 2 laps. But at the moment, it's pretty good and nice and easy.
Well, the pedigree is showing at the moment as well. Soloshenko is a 4-minute runner from Kyrgyzstan. He's dropped off the back of that group of 5 that was there at the time, so it's now just a front 4, and it could be that it'll all be battled out between this group, who are more evenly matched, although Nzema, he will do well if he can keep this pace going. He took them through 400 metres at 1:03.20, and then he's done 1:03 again for the next 400. So it's consistent, but you just sense that the rest of the field may have more staying power, but it's a big challenge for Nzema to see if he can stick with this group. He's got Engels lurking there right on his shoulder, and Ghazouzi, who is London-based, running in a Moroccan vest, who's holding 3rd place. So it's a 4 that look pretty comfortable as they are at the moment. I just sense Nzema might be starting to tire.
Yeah, you know, these four are way ahead of the rest of the field. So, I mean, with the first two in the three fastest losers across the three heats, 3:42.46 is currently the last qualifying position. So, and here you see Whiteman just taking on the front pace, hopefully getting supported by this home crowd. He looks in really good shape, actually. Very, very relaxed, and I'm sure he's going to go for another kick.
Jake Whiteman takes the bell, the Great Britain athlete leading in this final heat of the 1500 metres. Kazuzi is behind him. Engels of the United States is working very hard on that back straight to try and stay in touch. It's the first two in each heat who qualify. Kazuzi looking over his shoulder, grimacing as Whiteman moves away. Jake Whiteman of Great Britain takes the last bend. Here comes Engels of the United States. That battle is epic behind him, but Great Britain's Whiteman takes it. Engels is second, and Kazuzi is third. A superbly timed, well-delivered run from Jake Whiteman of Great Britain, and he takes victory in the third and final heat to secure his place in the 1500 metres final in 3:47.24.
Yeah, that was a really good run. Very, very controlled, very, very, very relaxed. And I actually did take my headphones off and heard his dad, and he sounded like he was a little bit flustered on that commentary, so it was very good.
Well done, Jake. Well done, Jeff, up there in the stadium announcing as well. And Craig Engels with a good finish as well.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it's quite hard to actually talk when your heart is probably beating right through your chest for your son and getting that excited for him doing so well.
Wave to the crowd by the front pair there, as in comes the last finisher, the 17-year-old from Cambodia, Odom Sat, to a great reception from this Birmingham audience. So let's have another look at how it all finished. Whiteman taking the bell in the lead. He made a decisive move about 200 metres, 150 metres or so before that, having timed it very well. And the question at this point was, as we look at Kazuzi, he's looking over his shoulder, he's trying to see where is Craig Engels. And at this point you think, well, he might just have enough to hold him off, but Engels comes round to the outside, and just here as Kazuzi starts to tire, Engels has got a little bit more as Whiteman coasts across the line.
And what's really good to see is that, you know, we spoke about in Boston, he ran that really good time of 3:37 along with O'Hare, and he just looks like he's actually still got that in his legs right now.
Damien Warner, second attempt, 4 meters 90. This would mean a new PB for Warner. Not looking as confident as he did on 480. I think he has switched pole to a harder pole, a higher flex. And also, of course, it's the thing when you're jumping on a PB, you haven't been on that height too many times before. Neil Eckhard of Germany, currently in 15th position, would need to improve to get down to 8th position to get all, or at least 5 attempts. She looks quite happy with that.
She has a season's best and a personal best of 14 meters 13. Doesn't look like it's quite as far as that. She's current, or 2017 World Student Games champion.
It's an okay board hit. Gives away about 18 centimeters, so effective length would have been up season best, but 13 meters, 87 centimeters. Coached by Charles Friedeck, the former world champion from back in Seville.
That's going back, Christian.
Well, not so far back. I used to compete against him as well. Kimberly Williams from Jamaica, up next on the runway for her second attempt. Second round jump.
Currently in first position.
Yeah, she was only 2 centimeters shy of a personal best in the first round. Let's see if we can add any more distance to her lead. Looks like Kimberly has got into the Indoor World Championship in a great shape. That looks like it's in the region of already 14 meters, 37 centimeters.
Have you ever done that, Christian? Got a mouthful of sand? It's absolutely disgusting. That's what looks like just happened to her.
Lots and lots of times.
5 to 10 to 40 to 90 in the heptathlon.
41 and a personal best. You're right.
Increasing her lead as well.
See her with Aston Moore right there. Oh, she banged her mouth. That's what it's looking like. Oh, I hope she's okay.
Next up on the runway is Spaniard Ana Peltiero. Needs to improve quite a bit. She looks like she improved. Not a big fan of when you're coming down the runway and you're looking at the board like she is. You can see her eyes going down to the board. But she does improve.
So the 2012 World Junior Champion and 2017 European Under-23 silver medalist. So she's pretty good at the junior levels. Let's see if she can transition that to the seniors.
1382 and climbs 3 positions.
Women's shot put from last night. It was a great contest. And here are the medalists to be presented to the audience here in Birmingham.
Presenting the medals, Sylvia Barlack, IAAF Council Member. Bronze medalist, representing the People's Republic of China, Gong Li Zhao. Silver medalist, representing Jamaica, Danielle Thomas-Dodd. Gold medalist and IAAF World Indoor Champion representing Hungary, Anita Marton.
Rose to the occasion on the big night, 1962. Hungary's Anita Marton, a world lead mark, and now a world champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Hungary. Please acknowledge your IAAF World Indoor Championship medalists.
Great competition. Martin, 1962 to take the gold. Thomas Dodd of Jamaica with a national record indoors for silver. And Gong Li Zhao, the season's best mark, to take bronze.
Damien Warner up for his last attempt on 490. Has to do a little bit better run-up if he's going to clear this one with this new pole he's using. Oh, it goes clear. Good, good. This is really good for him for the overall competition in the heptathlon.
You could just see actually on his approach, his run-up was really nice, very smooth, looked like he was very comfortable, really attacked that runway, planted the pole, and you could just see it looked very comfortable over that bar. Looks like he's got lots of room to spare as well. He might actually get 5 meters, let's see. Oh, he knocks it a little bit on the way up, but look at that air, you know, in between him and the bar.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just need to get a little bit comfortable with this new pole. Usually sets yourself a little bit down when you get a new pole, self-confidence.
Just to wrap up what happened in the third and final race of the 1500 meters, it's no change to the ultimate result. Whiteman from Engels, but a couple of disqualifications. Enzema and Sat both disqualified for lane violations. There were 2 non-starters as well, of course, in that one. Let's have a look at the qualifiers. And Igoudet of Morocco leads the way. Wote of Ethiopia, Blankenship. Lewandowski has qualified along with the American there, one of the fastest non-automatics, as has Chris O'Hare of Great Britain, who faded in his heat but still came through in a fast enough time. And he'll join Jake Whiteman in the final.
Yulimar Rojas, round 3. She will need to improve to retake the first position. Doesn't look too happy with that, and to be honest, with my eyes it looks a little bit, well, not like Rojas usually does when she's producing this 1450 up to 50 meters jumps. Maybe she should have, or not should have, but maybe a few more competitions would have been good for her.
Yeah, she looks a little lackluster in her hop and her step. There's no real fire and spring in those approaches.
14.27 doesn't change her current position, still in second place. Damien Warner, his first attempt at 5 meters. Well, that could be a usual reaction when you get up to those heights as 5 meters when you've not jumped them before. Hopefully he can recollect his focus and in the second round produce a little bit better jump.
It's always that mental thing, you know. I remember always wanting to go for that 100 kilo clean and never could get it, but could do reps at, you know, what, 97. It's mental.
St. Nicholas, his first attempt at 5 meters. Well, you can see that this guy, well, he knows how to pole vault. And sometimes when you look at athletes, decathletes, or so, you can see that they usually have 1 or 2 really good events where they almost are like the specialist in their events. And St. Nicholas here, obviously a really good pole vaulter. Another good pole vaulter in the heptathlete, among the heptathletes, is Kevin Mayer. Comes into this competition with a season best of 560, so entering already at 5 meters is a bit early, but when you're a heptathlete you need every point and every height count. It's not like in a high jump or triple jump with specialist where they can save energy by passing heights. needs a clearance for Kevin Mayer, I would say. Maybe change poles to the next height because it looked like it was a little bit soft, but maybe it is his safety pole.
Great to see them right in the centre of the arena in the shot put ring. We'll go back to that shortly as we go over to triple jump.
Papachristou from Greece in her third round. 14.25 season best so far this year. I really enjoy seeing her triple jump. It looks really, you know, it's a really nice flow through the whole triple jump. Doesn't lose a lot of speed through the hop and the step phase.
She's got a lovely position off the board. I feel like she twists and rotates a little bit, lets her shoulders rotate her lower half of the body in the step though. And you know, you want to be going forward, not kind of left and right.
14.01. Still her bestest from the first round with 14.05. Damien Warner, second attempt at 5 meters. Already set a PB, previous height of 490. See if he can produce a good attempt this time. Doesn't really look confident in the run-up, does he?
No, and he doesn't look like he's really attacking that approach, which I think he's going to need to do.
Nubia Suarez from Brazil, currently in 7th position with her 13.97, which is a season best. Another good jump, I'd say, in around the region of already season best. Might be a small increase.
She was actually a former handball player, can you believe it? So it's a bit of a change to doing triple jump.
Definitely a big change.
But there is some dynamicness about handball, so maybe it does correlate in some ways. And there you go, 14 meters, season's best.
Doesn't change her position though. Propapenko, her third round. Looks like they're giving her the go. Currently in 11th position. 13.87. She has jumped much longer this season with 14.44. Can she do something like this again?
I think she's going to have to go over 13.93 to make the top 8, because this is the third round, so she's going to have to get a better jump, and she's got the white flag, so that's a good sign. 13.93 to get into that top 8 and get 2 more jumps.
Definitely around that region, doesn't leave too much on the ball, 4 centimeters, so good attempt.
Wow, there you go, and she's done it, 14.05.
Moves her up into 5th place. Well, she has to wait a little bit, see if somebody can pass her. Damien Warren now, his last attempt, or hopefully he can produce a really good attempt this time. Not really attempted the first 2 rounds. Haven't cleared 5 meters in his career so far. Can he do it now?
It was definitely a better attempt, but I could just see a little bit of hesitation coming into, you know, that plant. I don't think he felt like he was comfortable with something out there, but it was definitely a better approach, and I think he'll get that at some point soon.
Oh, definitely. I would have hoped they would have done that in the first attempt, and then they might have done it better in the last, second and third.
On track, 800 meters for women. First of 3 semi-finals effectively. Look out for the European champion, Hitkowska, who goes in lane 5. US record holder as well.
Just the winner of each heat automatically qualifies
in this
plus the
lineup.
next 3 fastest times. Introducing the athletes on the outside.
On the outside is the Ethiopian Heptathlon Alemu. Second in the world in 2018. Is a European 1500 meter champion, Angelika Heptatska.
Lane 4, the national record holder of Latvia.
Is the Latvian record holder, Liga Valveri. She actually is a pretty handy hurdler.
Lane 3, the world indoor silver medalist.
Silver medalist in Portland in 2016, the US record holder, RJ Wilson.
And in lane 2, 3 times the national champion.
And here
of
is
Spain,
the
Esther
Spanish star, 7-time Spanish champion, Esther Puigdevall.
In the final.
5 runners in this, the first heat. In the opening round of the women's 800 metres. First in each heat. The automatic qualifier. The next 3 fastest advance to the final. So the challenge laid down to them. That only one is guaranteed to go through. There's Wilson on the right of the picture, Alemu coming off the break as they all join together on that back straight and round the bend for the first time. Look out for Heptatska's performance. She's a European 1500 meter champion. She's on the inside there at the moment as Alemu goes wide.
It's actually, I got a bit of a funny story because I actually spoke to Angelika and we had a conversation about her name because so many people get it wrong. And we spoke and she told me, and it's Chihotska. And then she said, yeah, she was so excited that I said it right and that she came back with a GoPro camera and was like, can you say it on camera for me, please? So it's Chihotska. This is how they say it, how she wants everyone to say it. So I just thought I'd clarify that for everyone listening.
Well, yes, I mean, the official pronunciation that we are advised to use is Heptatska. So
I know.
It's one of those.
I'm sure she
Wilson
knows,
leads
though.
them through 400 metres with 2 laps to go. And Alemu's in second, and it is the aforementioned Chihotska who is in 3rd place. Wilson just takes a little glance up at the screen, which is a huge screen right in front of them at the moment, so they have an idea exactly where the field is. The Spanish athlete at the back there is Guerrero Puigdevall, and Alemu just sitting here in 2nd place as they take the bell with the American RJ Wilson, the US record holder, in the lead. Just 200 metres to go in this first of the 3 heats, and remember, it's winner automatically qualifying, so it will have an effect, you would have thought, on the pace as well as we go through these races. Wilson at the moment still holding on. Chihotska has had a real battle there with Alemu, and there was a little shove in the back there for Alemu, who blocked her off. Chihotska's got to go wide. Wilson's going to take the victory. There's a real battle on for 2nd place, but it's Wilson who goes through in 2:01.91 to guarantee her place in the final, and those behind her were desperately trying to make up ground in those final stages, including Alemu and also Chihotska of Poland.
There was a little bit of pushing and shoving there. I'm not sure if Chihotska's the one pushing or being the one shoved, but she came through in 3rd. Wilson, really nice race, very confident. She looks really relaxed here, and I always like to see that in an athlete because I know that there's more to come in the future in the final. So really nice, comfortable race. Let's just see here. I think Chihotska's trying to get through, really diving for that line, but doesn't quite make it for that 2nd spot, which would actually help her with a fastest loser spot.
Yes, Alemu was 2nd in 2:02.18, but there's the winner, RJ Wilson of the United States.
Mathilde Ube. The 5:10 at the first attempt, currently in 4th position. It's a good clearance from Ubo. He has a 5:20 season best this indoor season, so still not up at those heights, but on his way. Zachary Simek, first attempt, 5:10. look quite comfortable over that height. Clean sheet so far in his pole vaulting at the Heptathlon. Kai Kasmirek already produced a season best with his 5 meters. Can he go higher with 5:10? Does so very easily. If he keep that jumping up, he'll pass the next height as well. Ruben Gadot, France. First attempt as well, 5 meters 10. Quite clean jump. Sometimes you can see athletes a little bit all over the place, but he goes straight up and over the bar.
Result of the first heat in the women's 800 metres. Only the winner will qualify automatically. RJ Wilson of the United States in 2:01.90 was the winner. Habitam Alemu of Ethiopia in second, and Angelika Chikocha of Poland in third. Another big final coming up here inside Arena Birmingham, and it's the final of the men's shot put. And there's some big names in that list, including the 2012 and 2014 champion Ryan Whiting. Konrad Bukowiecki missed out on a medal in 2016. David Stahl is a former European and world champion. And the defending champion Thomas Walsh is in that lineup, and the world leader this year, Thomas Stanek.
Maciej Ubo of Estonia. First attempt at 5 meters 20. This will equal his PB. Continuing his good jumping in the pole vault. I wouldn't be surprised if he clears the next height as well. Looks happy with that.
Here's the lineup for the second of the 3 first-round races in the women's 800 metres. Selina Bukal of Switzerland, a 2-time European indoor champion. He's been in action on the US Tour. Raven Rogers of the United States will be on the outside there in lane 6 to start. One of the fastest in the world this year. Great Britain has interest for the home fans to get behind, to the UK indoor champion, Shalana Oskin-Clark.
Kimberly Williams in the lead with her 14:41 personal record, third round. Kimberly continues to jump really well, I think, and might not have improved her result, but still very impressed with her this far into the competition.
Yeah, you know, technically she's looking really smooth. You know, you always kind of think about that stone skimming across the water. They used to say it about you and Chris and Jonathan Edwards, and she's looking quite like that compared to a lot of the other girls in the field.
My mistake. She does increase her lead to 14 meters 48 centimeters.
Back on the track, and there's Raven Rogers, the collegiate star, second in the US Indoor Championships.
Lane 5, the European indoor
Inside Raven Rogers is Shalane Oskin-Clark. World Championship finalist as well a few years back.
In lane 4, twice a European indoor champion for
Hugely
Switzerland,
strong, the Swiss athlete Selina Bruchel, two-time European indoor champion. Been on the IAAF indoor tour this year. Jenna Westaway, the 23-year-old from Canada. And Winnie Chebet was in the 1500 metres, and she's now doubling up in the 800 metres. The Kenyan finished second in her heat.
On your marks.
That final for the 1500 metres, incidentally, later on tonight. Well, they're underway though in the second heat. In round one of the women's 800 metres. There are 3 heats in all, and of course the thing to remember here is that only the winner automatically qualifies, and then it's about the next 3 fastest. Rogers has gone up there onto the shoulder in the early exchanges. 5-time collegiate champion in the United States, but Westaway of Canada goes out and steals a march on them in the first 200 metres of this race. And it's a strong showing as well from Westaway. We've already seen one of the athletes drop way off the back of the field as well, so it looks like it's already between this 4, or certainly will be between these 4, with Bruchel, Oskin-Clark and Rogers all watching Westaway at the moment, take them through with 2 laps to go, 400 metres complete.
Yeah, Westaway has a season's best this year of 2:01.22, which is also her personal best. So she's running pretty good. I mean, I'm not sure if she just thinks, let me go out. It's number 1 past the post, so I'm going to, you know, like Christian said, gun to tape, I'm just going to really give it my best shot. Hopefully she hasn't gone off too hard, because she's got some very useful athletes behind her.
Chebet of Kenya, by the way, is the athlete well at the back. So they take the bell, and it's Westaway who has the lead. But Raven Rogers has now made her move, and with 600 metres gone, she moves up onto the shoulder of the Canadian, who did win in Boston, but now maybe is running out a little bit of gas, because there's Rogers gliding past Westaway. Oskin-Clark takes her as well, and here comes Selina Bruchel, the European indoor champion on 2 occasions. 3 of them going for 1 automatic qualifying spot, and the home crowd are going to be cheering Oskin-Clark on. Has she got enough? I think she has. Rogers is tiring. Bruchel is coming. Rogers is beaten into 3rd place, and it's victory for Shalane Oskin-Clark of Great Britain. So she qualifies automatically for the final of the 800 metres with a brilliantly timed finish, and she just managed to overhaul a tiring Raven Rogers as an even tireder Winnie Chebet comes in there well behind the rest of the field. Bruchel as well came through to claim 2nd place in 2:01.84.
Yeah, that was a really good run from Oskin-Clark. I mean, you know, she's been through a lot over the last few years. She used to be coached by Ao Falola, who is a really, really well-known coach. Used to coach Donna Fraser, Olympic 400-metre runner. And, you know, he sadly passed away a few years ago, and so she's now had to move on from that. And I'm really happy to see her still progressing, because, you know, something like that could really affect you, but not her. She's made it that she's going to really make him proud, and she's qualified for that final. And I'm very proud of her too.
UK indoor champion and the winner of Heat 2. There's the 1-2 on your screen there.
Kai Kazmierik now 5 meters 20. Another clearance from Kai. Looks like he's really improved on his pole vaulting.
I have to respect these you know, heptathlete decathletes, because pole vault is a very difficult technical event.
First look at the shot put. Defending champion Tommy Walsh launches that one out, and that looks like a pretty explosive start from him as well. It looks like a really big start from Tommy Walsh, who's thrown 21.87, hasn't got a indoor mark this season, the Kiwi.
Yeah, he's, you know, a very, very good thrower. Last year, he's the 2017 World Outdoor Champion, so, you know, he's a really useful thrower. And there you go, 22-13, an area record in the first round.
What a way to start that competition.
Set the cat amongst the pigeons straight away.
Confirmation of the result of the second heat of the women's 800 metres. Shelena Oskin-Clark of Great Britain qualifies in 2:01.76 ahead of Selina Bukel of Switzerland. Raven Rogers tiring in the final metres, coming in third, and Westaway paying the price perhaps for a very fast start, and she ran out of gas as the race progressed towards its finale. Konrad Bukowiecki now, a big pole. Got a point to prove in this event because he was edged out of the medals in 2016 in Portland, Oregon, where he finished fourth. Ranked second in the world this year, though. But that's a disappointing start from Konrad, who's been a real star at youth and junior level down the years as well.
Yeah, with that massive throw of 22 metres in Torun on the World Indoor Tour, his reaction was absolutely priceless. It was like so funny seeing him running around this big, huge guy. That's 18.35 in the first round, 8th place, but I'm sure he's got lots more to come.
Ryan Whiting preparing to enter the circle. There was no US shot putter on the podium in 2016. That's a rarity in world indoor history.
Yeah, Ryan is actually the gold medalist indoors in Sopot in 2014 and 2012. And actually Walsh was the one that won in Portland in 2016 on his home soil. So that was a bit of a surprise for him, I'm sure. Really dynamic, lets that go. Close to the 21 metre mark, and he's happy with it. He shows that, and he's got the white flag. Gets low. They're doing this rotational technique, like as we spoke about. Very few of the guys will actually do the gliding technique now because they can get much more with that. 20.96 in a season's best. Gone into second place in the first round.
The final race in the first round of the women's 800 metres features a finalist and medalist from Portland in Margaret Wambui of Kenya, and also the defending champion, Francine Niyonsaba.
Back on track, it's the final heat of the women's 800 metres. On the outside, 5-time international champion of Jamaica,
Here's the Jamaican, Latoya Gould. Jamaican champion, third fastest in the world this year. There's Wambui, led at the bell actually in Portland before taking bronze. Yakova of Ukraine is a national champion.
In lane 3, twice the Scottish champion, representing
two-time Scottish champion, second in the UK indoors, Mari Henry.
And the defending world indoor champion in lane 2 for
first
Burundi,
ever
Francine
IAAF
Niyonsaba.
world champion, Francine Niyonsaba, who had never raced indoors before taking the title in Oregon 2 years ago. Current qualifiers by time are there on the screen.
On your marks.
It's the final heat, and it's winner takes all in as far as automatic qualification for that final. Gould has got a fair pace up on the outside, and as they break out of lanes, Niyonsaba and also Liakova just involved in a little bit of tussling. Wambui and the British athlete Maya Hendry have just stayed out of that and are content to sit at the back. Just the 5 of them to take on this race, and Gould the early leader. 3 laps to go. This is about Wambui, who's sitting at the back of that. Timing is everything, getting the race mechanics right and the tactics. Took the bell in the lead in the final in Portland, only to drop down a little bit. There's Niyonsaba, who is there in second place now and making a little bit of a move. Came through to take that historic medal. Not someone who runs indoors very often. Proved that she could do it in the most emphatic style, though, in Portland. Still Gould the leader then on that back straight. Hendry of Great Britain's at the back, but the home supporters will be getting behind her as the race reaches its business end. And now the world champion goes to the front.
Yeah, I mean, she looks very dominant and in control of this race. It's good to see Gould, a Jamaican, in there as well as an 800-metre runner. We're used to it as sprinters, but let's see what happens now in this last lap.
Well, they're testing the legs of Wambui and of Gould. Wambui's making a bit of a move down that back straight. Here she comes, the tall figure, moving up a little closer under the shoulder of the defending world champion, who beat her down in the bronze, of course, in Portland. Looks like Hendry is struggling to stay the pace, and so it's going to be the Burundi athlete Leon Saba who qualifies automatically ahead of Wambui. Gould comes in third place, and the time 2:00.99. So there'll be a number of athletes looking at that with great interest to see what that means for the fastest non-automatic qualifiers. But there is an automatic qualifier. Francine Niyonsaba, season's best mark as well for her. And the defending champion progresses to the final. Wambui stepped it up a little bit in that last 200, and Gould paying the price for going up pretty fast and leading the way. And ultimately, she would finish in third, with the Great British athlete finishing in fourth place, Nairi Hendry.
Out on the runway, St. Nicholas for his second attempt at 5:20 meters. Very, very comfortable. Eases over 5:20 meters. Comes into this season with a 5:60 meters personal best. 5:52, 5:41 season best. So might be still more to come from him. Kentura Orje, world leading triple jumper of 2018. Fourth round attempt. Looks like she might have increased her result from the previous round. Now only 8 jumpers left in the competition. Nice on the board. 14:28 meters, moves her up into second position and puts Rojas down into third. Zachary Simak, the United States, third and final attempt, 5:20 meters. He is familiar with heights like 5:20 meters, so not going to be happy if he fails this third and final attempt. Oh, just slim margin of failures. Looked like he caught it on his way up. Finishing with 5:10 meters. Yeah, his left thigh just took it on the way up. Won't be happy with that.
It's quite an impressive tattoo of the Olympic rings on his back there. Okay, and here's Hill from the USA, season's best of 2018. First round, let's see what he can do. Oh, it looks pretty impressive. Looks like he's around about the 21-meter mark, maybe even a little over that. He seemed to like it. Punch of the fist can always tell when an athlete likes their performance. Gets really good height on that. And as you see, it just lands on that tape, which indicate what each distance is. So 19 meters, 21 meters, 21.06 in the first round, and a PB. You can't ask for much more than that, can you, Christian?
Andrea Panturoy, currently 5th position, 4th attempt. Oh, that looked really close on the board. Will she get a white flag on that? She does. This is definitely an increase from her side. Question is, can she challenge all the way up to the medals? One centimeter left on the board. Perfect. She looks happy with that. 14 meters 33. It's a personal best. Moves her into 2nd position and puts Rojas out of the medals. Ruben Gado of France also trying to attempt 5 meters 20. Last attempt. Currently 8th overall position in the heptathlon. Wasn't to be. Didn't look quite comfortable with that pole on the wrong way.
And this is stall round 1. Very, very good German shot putter. Olympic silver medalist in 2012. Let's see what he can do. 21.19 as a personal best. Wow, and he really launches that shot out there, and he looks very cool, calm and collected, but you can see with that nod and that little pump of the fist. And actually, he's one of the athletes that still do that glide technique across the circle. Shot goes really high and comes down around that line. 21.14 in the first round. I'm sure I'd be happy with that.
Kevin Mayer in a bit of a pickle. Comes into this indoor season, well, not into this, but 5 meters 60 season best. Last attempt. It'll be really important for the overall standings for him to clear this one. And he doesn't clear it. That means he comes away with only 5 meters 10. That's half a meter off his season best. And Ana Pelletiero from Spain, currently in 5th position. The under 23 European champion from 2017. Oh, that's a really good attempt.
She likes that one, Christian. You can just see that on her face. Still looking down at that board, but really good jump.
Really good jump, Anna. It's not often as a triple jumper you can just get out straight away and put your arms in the air. You have to wait for the board to go white or red flag, and then the result. But you can see she was happy with that straight away out of the pit. Come on, she says in Spanish, vamos. Oh, 14 meters 40, new personal best, puts her all the way up into 2nd position, and a new personal best with 20 centimeters.
Right, round 1, Romani from Brazil, 21.68 season's best. Slowly sets himself up, launches that shot well over the 21 meter mark. Still showing, got that white flag, still showing that he's not quite happy with it. Maybe he pushes it away too much at the release. Looks pretty decent to me. And it's an area record, 21.23, and he still wasn't happy with it. Maybe it shows he's got much more to come.
Julia Rojas, the defending world championship back in 2016, Portland. From Portland, only 14 meters 27. She will need to increase just to move up into the medal position, currently in 4th. she does. She does increase, but will it be enough? Much better. Still not the Rojas we're used to seeing.
I think she's increasing, and like you said, she's warming up into it a little bit more.
14 meters 36. It's a season best. Moves her up into third position. St. Nicholas from Holland. First attempt, 5 meters 30. Nice clearance from St. Nicholas. It is a very good pole vaulter. Kentari Orje of the USA. Another good jump. Feels like this triple jump competition is really picking up now in the fourth round. Have to be in the top 4 to get the last and final attempt in the 6th round.
We saw this in the men's long jump yesterday. It was really, really heated up in that 4th round.
She does not get into the 4th position with her 14 meter 31. It is an increase, but she will not jump the 6th round with that attempt. Ubo from Estonia already put a PB up on the board with 5 meters 20 meter. Second attempt at 5 meters 30. Well, I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it is enough to go 5 meters 30. Another PB from Ubo. Well done. Yulima Rojas. She's definitely the triple jumper with the highest capacity in this field, with her 15 meters 03 PB from outdoors.
She looks in really good shape actually on this indoor. She looks like she shed a little bit of weight, really lean. Let's see what she can do.
Much more aggressive on the board now. Oh, that's a big one. That is a big one.
And she knows it. Look at her. I love it when I see them come out of that pit and really beat their chest. She knows how good that jump was.
It can be frustrating when you know you have a lot of length in you and you don't get it out on the field.
You know, she's the current indoor and outdoor world champion, so she's got that competitiveness. She's not going to give this up lying down, and she's going to really fight for this medal.
Nice hit on the board as well, on 7 centimeters left on the board. And she goes up into the lead with 14 meters, 63 centimeters. That's a world lead, and she puts herself in the first position for the final round. Let's see what Kimberly Williams can do. She was just taken away from the first position, down in second. Already put 14.48, which is a PB. I think she wanted it a little bit too much there. She'll get the 6th round. Andrea Panturui of Romania, 4th round. 4th in the 6th round. Can she move back up into medal position? She can't. She can't. There's a no jump. Still a fantastic competition from the Romanian.
And again, knowing you've come in that 4th place, not the best place to come.
Definitely not. Anna Peltiero, under 23 European champion, currently in 3rd position. The bronze medal is already hers. Can she move up a position, or maybe all the way up to the top? 6th and final attempt.
There you go. She wanted it too much. The red flag. You could see that determination on her face coming down that runway. Slightly tensed up and got that no jump, unfortunately. But she is so happy. Look at those tears. I'm sure they're going to be tears of joy. She's so excited for that bronze medal, and so she should be.
Yeah, she really took another step in her development this indoor season with a 40 meters. I'm not going to call her a junior anymore. She's a bronze medalist at the World Championship as a senior. Be interesting to see how she continues to develop.
And it's really good to see that transition from juniors, under 23s into seniors. It's a very, very interesting time, and most people fall by the wayside, so it's nice to see her improving.
Here is the current leader, defending champion, outdoor champion, world champion. Just put a 14 meters 63 up on the board. That's a new world lead. Last 6th round. No, that's not going to be an increase. Even though she has 14.63, she will have to go back, sweat a little bit, because she's not the last jumper. That is Kimberly Williams from Jamaica, who has the final attempt in this World Indoor Championship final for triple jump women.
And so far, you've seen, I think, all 3 of the 4 so far have got no jumps in that last round, because they're really, really trying to go for it. They know where they stand, they know what they've got to do. They might as well give it all or nothing. And unfortunately, so far, they've all got nothing with those no jumps.
And as we saw in the 5th round from Kimberly, she made a big foul. Hopefully she has adjusted her approach now. Will she respond? It's a little bit like Barshim and Lysenko. Can Kimberly do this? If she does, Yulimar will not have the chance to respond to it.
She looks ready, she's talking to herself, she's smiling, she's going through that routine that she has to do to win that gold medal and take it off of the Venezuelan.
Here she comes. It is a really good attempt.
Don't know if it's going to be enough though, Christian. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough.
I'm going to stick my chin out and say that it is not enough.
Well, I'll go with what you say, because you're the expert.
I saw a 14.60 jump.
Either way, she's done a fantastic competition here today. Comes away with the silver medal. And back-to-back world indoor champion, Yulimar Rojas of Venezuela.
Yeah, she started off a little bit slow, a little bit tentative, not really carrying that speed through the board, but she actually built up and she warmed up into that competition, and she put a really nice jump out. I feel like this is the girl that really, for me, in women's triple jump makes it exciting, and I think will be knocking on the door of the 16 meters. Technically, she's still got so much more to come. Coached by Ivan Pedroso, the very, very good long jumper for Cuba. But yeah, very, very talented girl, and I would love to see her get over that 15.50 and probably break the world record.
Yeah, no, on the paper, I must say that the triple jump final for women didn't look that exciting, but it ended up to be a real highlight of this championship, I must say.
Yeah, just like the men's long jump yesterday. I mean, 4 girls over 14.40. I'm pretty pleased with that. Are you?
Absolutely.
Confirmation of the result of the 3rd and final heat in the women's 800 metres. The world champion indoors, Francine Niyonsaba, with the qualification in 2 minutes and 99. Latoya Gould of Jamaica got 2nd because Wambui has been disqualified, who actually did finish 2nd in the race. Still not enough for Gould to qualify, though. And these are the finalists. Niyonsaba leading the way, with Oskin Clark of Great Britain performing well. RJ Wilson and Ravian Rogers, the 2 Americans who make it through.
So here we go with the world leader, Tomasz Stanek. 20.28 in the first round. What can he do? He's through 22.17 earlier this year in one of the World Indoor Tour meets in Karlsruhe. What can he do to respond? He likes it. He's punching that fist, putting that finger in the air. But is he in the first position? Rotational technique. Really launches that shot high in the air. 21.12, not the 22 meters that he did a few weeks ago, but he's happy with that. Haratik is next to go. He hasn't got the white flag to go yet, but here's the results for the triple jump.
While we wait, here's the result of the women's triple jump, a world lead, and another victory for Rojas, who takes gold, 14.63 ahead of Williams and Pelletiero.
Right, so here's Haratik from Poland. Second round, 19.89 in the first round. He's going to need a little bit more than that if he wants to move up the placings. Currently lying in 11th position. That seems a little bit better. Maybe closing on that 22 meter line, 22 and a half maybe. Not as good as, you know, the long jump and seeing it in the sand as on this indoor shot put field. But it looks pretty decent. He doesn't look very impressed, so let's see what the distance is. Oh, 19.89, exactly the same as he threw in the first round.
4x400 meters relay for men, out next on the track. And in this first heat, Ukraine has fallen by the wayside. Strong showing expected from the likes of Trinidad and Tobago. The Czech Republic, Poland are always strong in relays. And the Belgians, well, there's a bit of a family connection when it comes to them.
On the track, it's time for the heats of the men's 4x400 meters relay.
Three Borley brothers are part of the Belgian quartet. They'll be led off by Dylan, handing off to Jonathan, then Sakor, and then Kevin to bring them in. Here are Poland, Zalewski to get them off, Adamczyk, Krachuk, and Krzyzwina.
In four, it's
Dzenski, Muller, Schnejor, and Storm for the Czech Republic. And then Trinidad and Tobago have Remy Quao
in lane three
to lead them off. Jareem Richards, Michael Cedinho and Lalonde Gordon will complete the lineup. Well, there are two heats, effectively semi-finals, because the first two then will go through to qualify. Disappointingly, we won't see Jamaica in the second heat either. They are a non-starter.
On your marks.
The next two fastest times will be taken. Hands poised, and they're in their blocks. Trinidad and Tobago in 3, Czech Republic 4, Poland 5, Belgium 6. 4x400 meters relay for men. First round. Off they go. And it's a strong start made by the traditionally strong athletes from Poland, with Zalewski in the white vest. Has made a strong run past Dylan Borley as they break down now and run out of lane. As you can see, good performance from the pole. Zalewski, who has opened up quite a gap now on Borley in second place. Quao is making a move, the Trinidad and Tobago athlete who's just been left at the rear of the field, but he's actually starting to trail again because the Czech Republic's Dzenski has responded. First handover. Comfortable lead for the Poles. Adamczyk now in front. Now, what can the other Borley brother as Dylan handed over to Jonathan Borley. He's in second. Trinidad and Tobago have moved up into third place. They have Jareem Richards on this leg. fourth place at the moment. Wittmuller for the Czech Republic, but it's a Adamczyk who's got Jonathan Borlée just moving up on his shoulder somewhat. It's the first two in each heat who will qualify. Adamczyk will be handing over to Lukas Krachuk, and Jonathan Borlée has another Jonathan to hand over to. It's Sakor. Standing by then, hand over for the third legs in this, the first heat. It's still the Poles who have the lead at this point. Jonathan Sakor setting off in chase for Belgium. Cedinho, been a strong performer in recent years, coming through the ranks in Trinidad and Tobago. He's on the third leg now for the Caribbean island, but he's feeling a little bit of pressure from Sneijder, who's just moved up on his shoulder now. But the Poles have been the leaders from start right through, and at the moment Krachuk is looking pretty comfortable there, although Sakor as well knows exactly what he's got in his sights, and the first two in each heat qualify, so this pair now will be aware that they have opened up a significant gap, and so the onus is on the teams in third and fourth as we go into this final handover at 1200 metres, and the gap is pretty big as Krajvina, the bald-headed Pole, streaks away down that back straight, and he's chased by Kevin Borlée, but in reality these two know they can pretty much work together because it's the first two who are going to go through. So the question really is whether Lalonde Gordon or Patrick Sorm can do anything at all to close this gap as they take the bell on this last leg. And they are trying, as Borlée now takes on Krajvina. There is a little bit of a race between them, and it is closing up as well. Trinidad are still coming, the Czech Republic hanging in there. But it's going to be Belgium coming into the home straight. And Kevin Borlée in a foot race with Krajvina, which is really tight. Belgium take it, Poland second, and Trinidad and Tobago, I think, came in third place. But the two qualifiers certainly there, who led really from the off, the Poles and the Belgians. But a strong little run at the end there in that final couple of hundred metres from Kevin Borlée saw him take victory with 3:05.22 for the Belgians.
Yeah, the Belgians and the Poles are the very, very strong relay runners, indoors and outdoors, and I expected those to be definitely in the top two. Funnily enough, the Belgium team with three brothers, as you mentioned, they've also got a sister who's part of the Belgium team, so there's been talk about maybe mixed relays. That would be a brothers and sisters, very, very proud family in a mixed relay team. It'd be very interesting to see.
Have you seen a lot? Well, we'll talk about that later as we go back to the shot put.
So here you see David Stoll, round two. Whoa, looks pretty good. He's got the white flag. With that gliding technique, very, very dynamic and powerful. Really got a balance on that one leg to stay in that circle. Super high, over that 21-meter mark. He had 21.14 in the first round, and he's gone 21.15. Improved it by 1 centimetre in the second round, and he's in third place.
Let's confirm the result of that first heat in the men's 4x400 metres relay. Belgium with 3:05.22 taking victory in front of Poland in 3:05.24. Trinidad and Tobago in third, Czech Republic fourth. The Ukrainians didn't make the start line.
Marcel Ubo for third and final attempt at 5 meters 40. 34 in overall standings. Might be really good points for him to collect here if he can clear the bar. It's not a totally bad attempt, but when you had PB of 5 meters 20 when you came into this heptathlon pole vault and leave with 5 meters 30, you'll be pleased with that. St. Nicholas of Holland, currently 6th overall position. Third and final attempt, 5 meters 40. Definitely up there, but coming down on the bar. You usually see that a lot when you're coming in a little bit too close when you're planting the pole. You don't get the speed over the bar, just up. He's not really happy with that, but only 1 centimeter off his season best. Still a really okay result.
Well, let's confirm the summary of the pole vault in the heptathlon. St Nicholas, 5 meters 30, and Ubo, sensational again with 5:30. But look at Kevin Mayer, just 5 meters, way short of his best, and that could result in a bit of a shake-up as they go into the finale of their event. We've lost Kazyanov this morning as well, who went out in the hurdles. There's the standings, and Mayer maintains gold medal position, but he would have expected to have opened up a bigger gap, I think, in that last discipline. Damien Warner still in second, Kai Kazmarek of Germany in third. Ubo hovering outside the medals, but only 13 points in it for him. He's in fourth from Estonia.
You don't really want to put yourself in a position where you have to fight in 1,000 meters, because that is where you call it real pain. It might look like that at the top between Mayer and Warner.
I think...
Okay, so we are into the third round in the shot put. Peza. 2031, 2036, and he likes that one. He really likes the look of that one, and the feel more so. It's really low, nice and neat in that circle. Very, very fast arm. I love the way that when they release it, you can really see it. Look, he knows straight away. And let's see what the distance is. Wow, 21:15 in the third round, and it's a national indoor record.
That's the same length as David Stroll in third place, but David Stroll also had 21:14.
Start list. Second race in the first round of the men's 4x400 meters relay. The Jamaicans don't make the start line. The defending champions, the United States, go in lane 6.
We're ready on the track for the second and final heat of the men's 4x400 metres.
The Americans will be led off by the Texan Fred Curley, handing to Marquise Washington, Paul Dedewu and Vernon Norwood, the 2015 NCAA champion, on the anchor. Great Britain's relay teams are the stars of the World Championships in 2017 for the home crowd. Owen Smith leads them off here. Roger, Roden Stevens and Plendeley will be the remaining members of the team. With no Jamaica, it's the Dominican Republic, led off by Juan dos Santos. He'll hand to Obino Tejada, Charles, and then Lionel Bollon. And the Spanish, led off by a two-time Spanish champion, Lucas Bua. Manuel Guijaro, Alex Porras and Samuel Garcia will be the athletes to take up the baton on the remaining legs. It was all clean in the first heat in terms of handovers, and as they're called to their blocks, close attention sure to be paid on the performance of the United States, so strong in the relays in world indoor history. But will the British tradition in relays hold them in good stead in front of a home crowd as we look at Bua, the Spaniard? Heat 2. Away they go with Fred Curley, now in his senior year at Texas A&M University, out there on the outside, normally taking it down that back straight. He's being chased by Great Britain's bearded Owen Smith. Good showing as well from Juan dos Santos of the Dominican Republic. Bua left trailing in their wake, and there's a little bit of jostling between the Great Britain athlete Owen Smith and Santos as they came off the break and get out of their lanes. And now running as tight as they can to the curb. But it is Fred Curley of the United States who's got a good lead. And allowed himself a good look there to see what he had. As we go to the first handover, and it's the United States leading. As Marquise Washington is now in possession of the baton, and the lead has stretched out to 15 metres or so as Britain chase through Sebastian Roger. He's under pressure as well, though, with Urbino Tejeda of the Dominican Republic chasing hard. The Spanish, though, pretty much out of this at the moment. It's not what they want to be at this stage of the race. The first two in each heat are the automatic qualifiers. The next two fastest go to the final. The Americans are making it look pretty good at the moment. But there's a little bit of an acceleration and a cheer from the crowd as Sebastian Roger of Great Britain attempts to try and close that gap on the United States' Fred Curley. More significantly, though, he's opened the gap on the athlete from the Dominican Republic behind him. And the Spanish are right back into the race as well at 800 metres. Third changeover now. And Britain have the battle with Roden Stevens. Paul Dedewu of the United States still streaking away. The team in the blue vest looking comfortable. They've stayed in the front right from the off. And split the difference then between the Spanish, who have moved up into third, and Great Britain, who are in second. The Dominican Republic have fallen back to fourth place now. As Dedewu brings it down that back straight where they get a huge roar from the crowd. Roden Stevens of Great Britain has just basically not let the American get away from him. Has he closed the gap much? Maybe a fraction. It's the final handover. The top two go through, don't forget. And so Vernon Norwood, the NCAA champion of 2015, has the baton for the United States. And he takes a look up at the huge screen inside Arena Birmingham. He knows he has a very healthy lead over Grant Plenderleith, who's in second place for Great Britain. Short, compact, stocky, padded running figure. They take the bell. It's the United States leading from Great Britain, and Spain are still in third, and the Dominican Republic have dropped way out of it, back down the field in fourth place. The States have won the last 6 world indoor titles. They've been almost unbeaten. They took the gold in Portland on home soil a couple of years ago. And it is Norwood to bring them to victory in this one. US lead from Britain, who takes second place, and it is Spain with third. Dominican Republic coming fourth, but it is the US and Great Britain who take those automatic qualification positions.
Very good to see. I think that was very easy by the US. They are probably the favourites, as you can see. But good run from Great Britain as well. I'm just happy that there was no technical issues or dropping batons, and it's really interesting when you watch the Americans run how they hold the baton. They hold it inwards and everyone else usually holds it out. They think that's a better way for there to be less chance of you dropping the baton. So yes, it was a really good run. I mean, quite confident, easy peasy for, in the final they don't always use the same runners in the same order, so that's why you'll sometimes see them running pretty hard because they want to keep their spot on that team in that final.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of members of that quartet and some waves to the crowd, of course, buoyed by the home support, the British team. And I think if somebody had said to them, you'll get round cleanly and you'll be sitting in behind the Americans, they probably would have taken that in that first round. Confirmation of the results in the first round, the second heat in the men's 4x400 metres relay. The defending champions, the United States, victorious.
Okay, so we are live again in the shot put in round 3. Romani from Brazil. Big scream there. Right on the out edge of the sector. Gets the white flag though, so that's, I'm sure, good for him. Currently in second position with 21.23, and that's 21.09 in the third round, so he still stays in second position with that performance. Afoni now. He's in 13th position, 19.84, and a no throw in the second round. And he walks out the front of the circle on that one. And that was a no throw. As you see, he walked out the front of the circle. He wasn't happy with that at all. So now Nidao from Canada, 2082. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty close to the 21-meter mark. 20.09 in the first round. Let's see what you can do in the second round.
He'll need to be 20.96 to move into a fourth round of throwing, because only 8 throwers will proceed.
So that's 20.69, so he just misses out there. As we're in the third round, we need the top 8 go through for another 2 throws.
That's where we are after attempt 3, and you can see the records tumbling all over the place. Personal best as well for the likes of Darrell Hill of the United States. But it is just that top 8 who go through, so Ryan Whiting is the cut-off point, 20.96. The rest of them are going home. Shot put will resume shortly. Let's confirm the qualifiers, though. From the 4x400 metres relay, the United States, not surprisingly, the quickest. Belgium impressed in winning their heat as well. Poland, Great Britain, Trinidad and Tobago and the Czech Republic make up the list of qualifiers for the final.
So that was Walsh just in the background. So now we're in the fourth round. This is Ryan Whiting. Let's see what he can do. It's very useful. That's, you know, a little bit under par for him. He's, you know, as you see there, he's shaking his head. He's got the white flag. But currently, 20.96 in the first round, a no throw, 20.28 in the third round. He's definitely going to want to improve on that because he's in 8th position. So 20.45, no improvement there.
Konrad Bukowiecki now up next, Jay.
Yes, Konrad B, as people like to call him. Underperforming a little bit. Seventh place. Let's see what he can do. Remember, 22 meters, and he's just not looking happy. You know, walked out the front of the circle. You know, 22 meters a few weeks ago. Very excited about that. It's just obviously something's not feeling right for him. And you can see it from his body language. Seventh place for Konrad B. And here we go, Darrell Hill from the USA. Currently in 6th place, 21.06 in the first round, 20.79 in the third. Not happy either. Red flag, he stands on the front of that. That's what you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to go over the front of that circle. And you see that where their feet, and he's actually touched it anyway with the bottom of his shoe, and that's not allowed, so that would have been a no throw anyway. Prancing up and down, getting ready. Stanek from the Czech Republic, world leader, 22.17 in Dusseldorf on the World Indoor Tour. 21.12, not going to be happy with that in the second round. He's definitely going to want to improve. Wow, there you go. It's a bit better. He's still not happy, but when you've already thrown 22 meters this year, anything less is just not good enough. Seems like he's just away from it a little bit. Let's see what the distance is. Okay, that's a much better improvement. 21.44, slapping himself in the face a little bit, getting himself prepared, gone up into 2nd position with that throw. So here's Peza, closing his eyes, a little bit of a breath, going through that jump in his mind before he does it. Like I said, currently in 5th place with 21.15. Doesn't look like he's improved that. A little bit short of that 21-meter line. Stoll also has thrown 21 meters, but has a 21.15, but also has a 21.14 to back it up, so that's why he's ahead of him in the standings. 20.58 for Pezza.
Next up, David Stroll, 3 times European champion, 2 times world champion. That's a PB of 22.20. Very capable of producing much better throws.
Very dynamic throw right there.
And he does produce a huge throw. Does he get a white flag?
I think he does, and he likes it. And let's see what their distance is. 21.44 and a season's best.
Moves him into 2nd place.
He's also a world outdoor gold medalist in 2013 and 2011, so he's very, very, mature in this sport, and he knows what he has to do. Here we go, Romani from Brazil. 4th attempt. Yeah, he's just seen himself move out of the medals with that throw by Storm. Let's see what he's done. And it's not going to be enough. Just under that 21-meter line.
Very consistent, though. Very consistent. 21.14, 21.15, 21.08, somewhere in the neighborhood as well.
Yeah, it just hits that 21-meter line again. 20.97, and he's still in 4th place. And here we go. Walsh, the competition leader. Closes his eyes, goes through that technique, what he has to do. Flow visualization. Oh, pretty big throw, but he gets a red flag. He actually threw 22.13 in the 1st round, and no throw, and then in the 3rd round, another 22.13 to exactly match his 1st round throw. Only competitor over 22 meters so far.
I wonder if that second 22.13 counts as another area record, because it's equaling the one he already set.
Exactly, and here we go, Ryan Whiting. A little bit underperforming, I'm sure he will agree. We're in the 5th round. He really needs to get over that 21-meter line. And there you go, 21.03 season's best. He's in 7th place, so he won't be able to progress for the top 4 and get that last 6th attempt. Here we go, Konrad B from Poland. As an under 20 through 22.62 outdoors. I think it was a world record, a world junior record. So 5th round is in 8th place. And that's not going to do it. He has not had a good competition, especially after throwing 22 meters just a few weeks ago in Torun.
And his competition will be over here, since only 4 of the competitors will move on to the 6th round.
And as you see there, extremely disappointed, puts his face in his hands and gives the crowd a clap, but you can see the disappointment in his body language. Little shake of the head there. Okay, so here's Hill, lying in 6th position so far. Best of 21.06. Oh, and he goes, and he's got a red flag. And that would have been a really good throw, maybe got him in that top 4. Smile, but not happy with that at all. Oh, he steps just as you see on the outside of the circle. stays in 6th place.
Mm.
21.23 is currently lying in 4th place, so right, Stanek. He's currently in 3rd position with 21.44. So he's currently safe at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to still want to improve and encroach on that 22-meter line. Unfortunately, not on that throw. A little bit under the... Oh, and it's a red flag. He steps out. He knows it wasn't that good, and so he doesn't want that marked. Very considerate of him. The field judges don't have to do the work of measuring.
Shouldn't make the volunteers work more than they have to.
Very true. So he stays in the bronze medal position at the moment. And here we go, here's Peza. He's currently lying in 5th position, so he really needs to get over that 21-meter line. 21.23 is the mark that he needs. Currently 21.15, and it's not going to be enough. And it's short, and as you see, that frustration, as he knows it's not enough. Yeah, he has a best throw of 21.15 in round 3, and he'll stay in 5th place. That was 20.73 in the 5th round. And here we go, Stahl. He's already in the silver medal position, so he's safe. He's going to get that extra, that 6th round throw. Oh, wow, that was a big throw. Oh, but it's a red flag. Maybe slightly over-rotate. Let's see if we can see here.
He stepped up with the first leg a little bit on the back. So.
Okay. It wasn't so clear, but those judges know they've done it enough. And here we go. Romania, Brazil. He's in 4th place, so he's going to get another throw at the moment. Looks like he's just hit that 21-meter line again. Very consistent, as Christian said earlier. So his best at the moment is 21.15. Oh, wow. 21.37 and an area record. He's going to be very happy with that. What more can you ask for? And here's Walsh just going through his routine, talking to himself. Athletes do this very often. Psyching yourself up. This is his second to last throw of the competition. Just waiting for the judges. It's always funny, he's smiling to himself. I wonder what he's saying. I often wonder what athletes say to themselves in these moments. I know what I said to myself, but you know, you see it, look at that little smirk on his face, probably telling himself he can do this.
It looks like he likes the music that was playing in the speakers as well, so
maybe it's that.
Maybe he's just enjoying himself.
Got a feeling though it's probably a little bit more of I can do this. I'm the current world outdoor champion and I want to make it the world indoor champion. Well, it'll be double because I think he also won in Portland in 2016. Holding him a little long out there. A little bit frustrating. Here we go. Big breath, relax. Tom Walsh from New Zealand. Big throw lands on that 21-meter line, but as you see, jumps out the front of that circle. All that frustration. One more attempt.
when you've done 22-13 two times, I guess you want to find that extra little bit energy to take the shot put a little bit further, which means you got to max out everything about your technique. It also brings a lot of more risk to the technique.
Only 2 attempts recorded, both 22-13, and both would have won the competition, and the only 2 throws over 22 meters in the whole competition. So, I mean, you only need 1, don't you, Christian, to win. So.
Let's confirm where we are then after the 5th attempt. And Thomas Walsh, the reigning world champion, indoors and out, is the leader with 22 meters and 13 ahead of David Stahl of Germany.
So here we go. Stanek. Thomas Stanek from the Czech Republic in the 6th and final round. What can he do? 21-44 in the 4th round. And it's just not going to be enough. So at the moment, still in that bronze medal position. We'll have to wait for Romani from Brazil to see if he can push him out of the medals, as he currently is lying in 4th place. David Stahl of Germany. .21.44 season's best, a no throw in the 5th. And he gets it over the 21-meter line, but it's obviously not going to be enough to challenge the lead of Thomas Walsh with that 22-13 that he did in the 1st and the 3rd round. But it was a good attempt. No improvement, 21-18. He's in the silver medal position currently. Here we go. Romani, this is a really important throw for him. He's in 4th place at the moment. 21-23. Oh, and I think, let's see if he's done it. So currently Stanek in 3rd place in the bronze medal is 21-44. So he's going to need to go further than 21-44. Just not enough. It's nearly, but not quite. 21-37. It's another area record, but just not enough to take that bronze medal. So Stanek knows that he's got that bronze medal at least, and he's very, very happy with that. So here we go. It's the man who already knows he's won that gold medal, defended his title from 2 years ago in Portland. Let's see if he can get a mark on the board just to finish on a really good note. Oh my word. And not only does he end on a good note, he ends on an absolute monster of a throw. That's what you like to see. I've just got literally goosebumps go all the way through me. That was a monster.
22, championship record.
A championship record. And beats his world lead of 22-17. What an absolutely amazing throw.
Sensational. What a way to crown your glory. World champion, gold medalist, championship record. Tommy Walsh of New Zealand on top of the world at Birmingham 2018. And you're not the only one with goosebumps. Confirmation of the other placings. David Stahl, another medal in a major championships from the German. It's a silver this time, 21.44.
I think this has to be one of the best competitions, shot put men competitions. I mean, there's so many men over 21 metres. I want to know the stats, but I'm sure this is one of the best ever
I believe it may well be the best ever indoors that we've seen. That is
we'll try and get some of the stats
mooted around here at the moment, that we could have just seen the best shot put competition of all time indoors. Walsh absolutely thrilled and talking on the infield there. Stahl in second, Stanek, who came in as the world leader, third.
I had to throw a PB in with, and he's broke nothing chops for the next 9 months, so it's going to be a good 9 months.
Well, celebrations for the shot putters, and they've really taken centre stage right in the heart of the arena for the last hour or so, and it's been fantastic to see them rise to the occasion. We saw brilliant long jump last night. We saw great field action as well with the women's shot put, and then the men's has not disappointed at all, has it?
No, and a really, really high standard in the women's triple jump as well a little bit ago. I'm just looking, and it seems like 7 guys over 21 metres and a championship record of 22-30. Well, I mean, 31. I mean, absolutely amazing competition, and it was very exciting for me to be able to commentate on it, I have to say.
The championship record had stood since the very first championships in Indianapolis in 1987.
Well, I was 7 years old, so wow, that was a
Timmerman.
long time, because I'm pretty old at the moment, 37, you know, I'm pushing on that 40.
It's only 18 years ago, because I'm 25, so it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the triple jump women.
Another medal ceremony coming up, this time for the women's triple jump.
Presenting the medals, Roberto Hesta de Mello, IAAF Council Member. Bronze medalist, representing Spain, Ana Pelletero.
(14.40 m, a personal best. What a place to do it on the world stage at the World Indoor Championships. Bronze for Spain.
Silver medalist, representing Jamaica, Kimberly Williams.
Another personal best, a silver medal for Jamaica's Kimberly Williams. 14.48 m.
Gold medalist and IAAF World Indoor Champion, representing Venezuela, Yulima Rojas.
She's done it again. The world leader is the world champion, Venezuela's Yulimira Rojas, 14.63 m. And gold in Birmingham.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Venezuela. Please acknowledge your IAAF World Indoor Championship medalists.
Successful defence of the title won in Portland. Rojas is world champion again. Let's confirm one of the great shot put competitions. Look at those performances over the 21-metre mark. 7 athletes, 7 shot putters. But on top of the world again is Thomas Walsh, Tommy of New Zealand, 22.31. And with his final throw, knowing he had the gold medal, he shattered the championship record set in 1987 to take gold. David Stahl, Germany silver. Thomas Stanek, the world leader before today, takes the bronze. Some of those performances not too shabby either as you go down through the list. Haratik of Poland, 20 metres for 10th. Final track action of this morning's session will be concluding shortly. Reminder of what we've seen in terms of finals, though, here this morning, and how that affects the medal table. The Ivory Coast are still top after that golden night for the women in the 60 metres. Cuba there in second. And new entrants, New Zealand and Venezuela, off the back of medals this morning. Let's put down the list. The United States in 9th, and they haven't got a gold medal quite yet. By some distance, the most successful nation in World Indoor Championships. Of course, the 4x400 metres team look favourites for gold in the early stages. And the Swiss on the board with the bronze.
And maybe in the men's 60 a little bit later with Coleman and with the world record.
I think there's a very good chance of that happening. 4x400 metres relay for women. It's the first of 2 races in the first round. It's a straight qualification through to the final. The Nigerians do not start, so they'll go from lane 3 with Kazakhstan, Great Britain, the United States and Italy.
On the outside of lane 6, Nakudo, Folorenzo, Bazzoni and Spaccia, Italy.
Italian champion Lucudo on the first leg for the Italians, to Folorenzo, Bazzoni and Spaccia. Here are the United States. Gunnar Hayes will hand to Joanna Atkins, Nurjan Molin, and Ravin Rogers, who ran in the 800 metres, is going to run the anchor. Here's the Great Britain team. Amy Alcock, Onyeka Onyura, Hannah Williams and Mega Beasley, the hurdler, very often is on the anchor.
And in lane 3,
Kazakhstan with Torendova, Bekina, Yushikova and Akhmetova.
On your marks.
So Kazakhstan in 3, Great Britain 4, United States 5, Italy 6. The 4 teams competing in this first heat, in the first round of the 4x400 metres relay for women.
Set.
The United States are the defending champions, having won in Portland, and look at the way Hayes has gone out, although she had to just watch her lane there. She was having to rebalance quite considerably as she came off the bend. Often the quirks of indoor tracks can be difficult. Kazakhstan are looking good as well. That's an opening run from Donandova. And they'll come off the break, and you can see what that little stutter did for Hayes. It means that there's an early lead for Kazakhstan. It's a brief one though, because here comes Hayes, bronze in the 2016 World Indoor Championships individually, and she's recovered from a difficult start to stretch out now by a few metres and get the Americans into the lead. Locudo, the Italian champion, who missed out in individual qualifying, has come round into second, and Great Britain are third. Here's the first change as Hayes hands to Atkins. Can often get a little bit congested there. The British are down in third at the moment as Onyura takes the baton for the home team, and it's Folorunso who has it for Italy. The other three really bunched up, but the Americans are streaking away. The American record holder, Joanna Atkins, has run a really strong first 200 metres, and she's really left it as a chase for the other three, and all of them, of course, contesting now that second place. And the Kazakhstan athlete Vakina had a real problem just a few seconds ago, and that's seen her lose some ground on Ura. But just look at the performance of Joanna Atkins at the moment. Really strong. Perhaps she's tiring just a little bit now. The shoulders are rolling, the head's rocking slightly, and so that's allowed the Italians with Folorunso to come right back into it, actually, as Moline takes the baton for the third leg at 800 metres in this first round of the 4x400 metres relay. As you look at the spread, Moline from Bozzoni now, who's got the baton for Italy. And it's Hannah Williams, fifth in the British final here for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, who is running the third leg for the home team. The USA, though, the defending champions, with a big lead at the moment, stretched it out. Moline's run a pretty considered leg as Hannah Williams is trying to catch up against the Italian Bozzoni. Well, there's only one more leg to run, but the Americans are going to go into it with a very big lead. They round that bend in front of that huge screen, and the American Moline Rogers is urging Moline on because she wants to get that baton, she wants to get her race underway. She was only on this track about an hour or so ago, but the race is on for second place on the final leg. Great Britain have Megan Beasley, the Italians have Spaccia, and Beasley has made an early move down that back straight to the approval of the crowd inside this stadium. Still, though, the Americans looking comfortable. Rogers will approach the bell now. 200 metres to go. That gap's closing a little bit. First two each heat, remember, qualify. The next two fastest go to the final. Great Britain and Italy have really closed that gap now. Rogers has been on the track already. Is she showing the rigours of running 800 metres a little bit earlier on? You wouldn't be surprised, but she's found a second wind. She's put her foot back on the gas. She's timed it really well. The United States will get it. The battle for second. Can Britain hold on? The Italians coming hard, and Britain will get there. And those will be the two qualifiers. The defending champion, United States, and Great Britain in second. Megan Beasley holding on and keeping Spaccia at bay. And Britain come in and secure their place in the final behind the United States of America.
Wow, that was really, really close. And, you know, well done to Megan Beasley for holding off the Italian on that last few metres. But, you know, we were sitting here and she actually took her out quite early on the bend. You know, that's a lot of work. You're going to have to go around someone on the bend. Wait, be patient and take over on the straight. It's very, very tight in here. That's a lot of energy to overtake someone on the bend while it's a curve as well. Be a little bit more patient and wait. But, you know, this is the difference when you're not so used to running indoors compared to outdoors.
That's a good race. The Americans pretty much always in control. There were one or two occasions where the gap closed a little, but in reality it was as much to do with pacing themselves through that 2 laps that you do in a 4x4 indoor relay.
I mean, with these relays, the men and women for the USA are looking supremely better than everybody else. You know, I mean, they are head and shoulders above everyone. You know, they're very, very known for their 400-metre relay running and even 4x1. But here you go on the last lap. And this is what I'm talking about. Look, Megan, as she's going around the top bench, she has to go all the way around the Italian athlete. That's a lot of energy you're going to use. She could have just waited, been a little bit more patient, and right here on that straight, just move out and then overtake. It's a better tactic, and it saves a lot more energy.
Yeah, well, Beasley did hold on, and Spacha, in the end, wasn't able to find any more. This is the point where they hit the bell. And just at this point, you see the Americans, with Rogers, she just run a tactical first couple of hundred, and she just made sure she had enough. And of course, first two qualifying anyway, but she wouldn't have wanted to get dragged into anything going on behind and have any kind of problems at the end of the race. And she pulled away nicely to win by some significant distance. But here is the battle as Spacha tried to take Beasley, and Beasley, well, showing a real show of guts really from her there to hang on in there and secure Britain the second qualification position. Final bend again.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous because, as you see here, Megan's head is rolling and rocking everywhere, and you could see this actually from the last lap. So I was really nervous, you know. And as you see, the Italian athlete Spacha has got a heavily strapped thigh. So, you know, in a way, it's terrible for her that she's injured. But if she wasn't and she was in top shape, we would have been maybe a little bit more tough to get that second place.
You can see team members urging on Rogers, and then watching on closely in a few fist pumps from the British quartet, or the reigning members who are watching Beasley, who, well, needed a deep breath after that. Plenty for spectators of all generations to enjoy here in Birmingham. Confirmation of the result there in the first round, the 4x400 metres relay for women. The United States taking victory ahead of Great Britain in second. The Italians beaten out into third with their season's best mark of 3:32.62. Kazakhstan well back. Well, the crowd staying in their seats, a very good attendance again this morning, considering the significant difficulties in the local area of Birmingham. England is swamped in snow at the moment, the most unseasonal weather that has been seen for nearly a decade, and the temperatures still today hovering around zero.
And just going back to that last heat of the women's 4x4, you know, you said the Kazakhstan team were way back. I wonder if there's going to be an appeal, because there was a point in one of those legs where there was a bit of barging and pushing out the way by, I'm not sure if it was the Italian or the British athlete. I think it might have been on the third leg. So let's see if there's an appeal, because she did get kind of clobbered out the way a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's actually allowed. So we'll see if it was okay or if it's a little bit unsportsmanlike.
Picking up some other news as well today. Kevin Mayer has told French journalists that he's not feeling well, and that possibly might be behind his slightly disappointing performance in the heptathlon. On the track now, the last action of this second morning session of these World Indoor Championships. It's the women's 4x400 metres relay, second of two races, and we will see the Jamaicans go out in lane 3. The Portuguese will be out on the outside. Martins gets them away, handing to Azevedo, Mentai and Ivora. There's Tatiana Melnik of Ukraine. She'll hand to Klimyuk. And then Katia and Brzeźina, the remaining members of their four. The strong Poles, led by Holub Kowalczyk. She'll hand to Linkovic, Kaczmarek and Gaworska. Complete their group. Now here are the Jamaicans. It's the often hurdler Janine Russell who'll take them off. Dominique Blake, Tiffany James, Anastasia Leroy will complete their group. And the quartet from the Czech Republic is led off by Martina Opmanova, Perkova, Petrakova and Vondrova, the teenager, to bring them home.
On your marks.
Italians and Kazakhstan watching on closely. Heat 2. women's 4x400 metres relay. The last track action of the morning in Birmingham. Away they go. A decent start made by Janine Russell, 5th in the 2015 World Championship final over hurdles. And she's made up good ground on the pole. Holub Kwolek, who's running the anchor leg, but now showing some signs of just battling back a little bit as they come out of lane with 200 metres to go in this first legs. So it's Jamaica who've taken the early lead, Poland who've settled in second, it's Ukraine with Malik in third place, and the minor placings at the moment being battled out by the Czechs and the Portuguese, but they're already starting to trail. We stand by then, first handover, it's going to be Jamaica leading, and Dominique Blake now has the baton at 400 metres, 52.02 for that first leg. And it's Jamaica from Poland, from Ukraine. Blake looks very composed and comfortable running down that back straight and then taking on these shorter than usual bends, slingshotting off the bend into the home straight. It's Jamaica from Poland, from Ukraine, and that order not really looking like it's going to be challenged too much as this race shakes down. Beautiful view from behind there as they took that short curve bend and then head off down a noisy home back straight, and it is still Dominique Blake, Caribbean Games relay winner, a Penn State graduate, who leads for the Jamaicans. The gap closes as the Poles and Ukrainians do their handovers virtually at the same time. So with the first two qualifying, it's still all to be fought out for between those front three. There is an attempt at the moment by the Portuguese to try and get back into things. Mentai has got the baton and she went off very fast, but it is Jamaica still continuing to have the advantage, although now the Poles just showing some signs of backing back a little bit. So the order not changing an awful lot. But nevertheless, Tiffany James, the World Under-20 champion, has just found herself under a little bit more pressure from Kaczmarek, who's running for Poland on this leg. The Ukrainians have Kachur in possession of the baton, and as they go to the final handoff, the Jamaicans have gone nice and early, and they nearly paid the price for that, and that's opened the door, and there go the Poles, and the Ukrainians saw their chance, and they've gone through as well. So now the challenge is on. Anastasia Leroy, the mix-up on the handover, but look at the response. Foot down, back straight, and suddenly she's gone from third to first. First two qualify, and Leroy takes the bell with the Jamaicans in the lead, but here come the Ukrainians as well with Brezhina. Now has Leroy, in trying to recover, just got out a bit too fast. Can the other two pounce and overhaul her in the final stages? Leroy had that mix-up on the last handover for the Jamaicans. She's hugging that curb. The other two are going to have to go wide. That's good tactics from the Jamaican. And can she hold it in the home straight? Because here come the Ukrainians and the Poles. It's tight to the line, and Jamaica got there, but it was really close between the other pair. And whether the Czechs or the Ukrainians have got that second place, we'll have to wait and see. But we saw what can happen in relays. Ultimately, the pace will mean that probably all three will go through. But nevertheless, there was just a moment of wobble there from the Jamaicans on that last handover.
Yeah, not the best handover at all, going from first to third position and making her battle herself back into the first place. But she just had enough energy to keep that first spot all the way into the goal.
Yeah, with Poland and Ukraine coming through in second and third. This is the key last handover. What goes wrong here? Just a little, possibly she goes off a little early, maybe?
Yeah, sorry, I was just distracted. Heard some screaming in the stadium, and I think the Portuguese have actually got through. Maybe they know something that we don't anyway, because they were having a nice celebration there. Yeah, here you see the Ukrainian girls really trying to take over Leroy on that straight. Now that's where you want to try and do the takeover, but Leroy was having none of it. She slightly, goes wide so that it makes them much harder to go around her on that bend, which no one wants to do. But then in the home straight, the Ukrainian and the Polish really fighting hard, and it looked like Leroy may not have it, but I think she got it on the line. It's going to be very close for that second and third. Have you got the results?
At the moment, it looks like Ukraine have got second and Poland third, but such is the pace that they should go through at the expense of Kazakhstan, we believe. The Italians did 3:32.62, and that has earned them qualification. Kazakhstan, though, will not qualify because they ran a much slower 3:40. So, in fact, the front three are assured of their qualification. So it's Jamaica, Ukraine and Poland who go through. Let's confirm the result of the first round second heat in the 4x400 metres relay. Jamaica first in 3:32.01, holding off Ukraine, who had a season's best mark in 3:32.06. And the Poles just edged out into third, but they still do enough to qualify for the final. They took third. The Portuguese were celebrating. Well spotted, Jade Johnson. National indoor record, 3:35.43.
I thought it might have been because they've got through, but you know what? National indoor record, worth celebrating.
Summary after the first round. These are the qualifiers and the teams that will go for gold in the relay. United States will be the big favourites, of course. Jamaica, well, they'll fancy their chances of challenging. And Great Britain, of course, have got great pedigree in major championships and relays at the moment. And don't discount the likes of Ukraine and Poland. But there is a big ask. The Americans looking very, very good in the defence of their title won in Portland in 2016. Well, the spectators will make their way out of the arena. Many of them will be back for the evening session, which gets underway in just over 4 hours' time here in Birmingham. It's a Saturday in the UK, a traditional sports day, of course, and it's great that there's some indoor sport to be watched. Just picking up on a couple of the morning headlines, though, the fact that Kevin Mayer has not been feeling well and possibly has got a problem with his knees. We hear from downstairs that in the 1500 metres, Britain's Chris O'Hare needed some medical help after the race in the mixed zone.
Yeah, he was definitely looking out of sorts. He wasn't at the shape he was when he did that fantastic time in Boston, so that's probably the reason. Hopefully, and we hope he's okay. Also
some interesting quotes which we'll talk about in one of our later broadcasts from Kim Collins, who is appearing to say it's just about it for him at the age of 41.
Well, actually, Kim and I are very good friends, and I have a little bit more info on that too.
Well, now that he's said it, we'll let you share it a little bit later on. So, but now Kim, of course, a qualifier in the 60 metres this morning. Here are some of the highlights, and we started out with the heptathletes and a strong performance from Warner of Canada. We also saw the end of one of the competitors as well, the Ukrainian in that competition, but Warner consolidated a medal spot by winning his heat in the heptathlon hurdles. And there's Mayer, who we gather isn't feeling all that well. So is his potential gold medal under threat? 60 metres got underway. Ronnie Baker has been third fastest in the world ever, second in the world this year. And he was comfortable and composed in winning in 6:56. Christian Coleman, the new world record holder, not quite as comfortable, and a little bit of a stutter when he came out of the blocks in winning his heat. We've seen medals decided as well. Rojas successfully defending the crown she won in Portland in 2016 with this triple jump gold medal jump. Warmed her way into the competition and then took control. The world lead mark of 14:63 would earn her the gold. It was an incredible shot put competition, one of the greatest we have ever seen in a World Championships, and the defending champion, Tommy Walsh, is on top of the world again for New Zealand. He shatters the championship record which had lasted since 1987. 22:31 for the winner and the gold medalist from New Zealand.
Let's see if he does the same at the Commonwealth Games in a few weeks' time.
And the heptathlon has got interesting after a quite dramatic pole vault. St Nicholas of the Netherlands took on the bar at 5 meters and 30, and this is what he did. A super clearance. And that shoved him up the rankings. And that competition still interestingly poised as they go into the 1,000 meters. Relay action as well. The United States defending champions in both the men's and the women's, and they both won their heats. Norwood anchoring USA ahead of Great Britain, and then Rogers comfortably winning for the United States in the women, and Britain holding off a strong challenge from the Italians to claim the second automatic qualification position in their heat. Medal table at this stage, day 3 of these IAAF World Indoor Championships here in Birmingham. The Ivory Coast had a special night in the sprints, and they'll go again later on today in the 60 metres final. Cuba are up there. New entrants, New Zealand and Venezuela on to the front page of the board. The United States, unfamiliar perhaps at this stage of a major championships to be on page 2. That could all change with the 60 metres final to come later today. And that sole medal for Switzerland so far as well puts them on the board. So that's the end of this session, and we'll look forward to seeing you again when our broadcasting resumes later today in around 4 hours' time, wherever you are. From all the team, thanks for joining us.